Hey guys, welcome to episode 131 of 4PlayerAnimecast. It is the 16th of November, 10 p.m. on the east coast of the United States. We're halfway through November, and as well with the season, we're halfway through season as well. So some exciting episodes, or some exciting podcasts rather, coming up pretty soon. So watch out for that. But as always, here are my usual compatriots, Dark,
Hey,
Nier,
Hello.
and Toast.
I saw the Konosuba movie. It wasn't bad.
God. Alright. Well, anyways, again, we are all here. We're deep into the 2019 fall season, so we're going to be covering some pretty, much. Obviously, we've been covering some bigger and bigger names so far, but obviously, since we're deeper into it, this podcast as well as the next podcast, we're going to be covering some, obviously, much, much bigger names that you guys might want to hear about. But without further ado, Nier, what have you been up to the last 2 weeks?
Not a lot. I've been taking a break from Shadowverse.
That's good, especially after GM one.
Did you win?
Yeah, I hit GM and I was like, I'm gonna calm down. So probably gonna take a break until the mini expansion comes out. Other than that, not too much. Just keeping watching. Fate.
Okay.
I
see.
no, a bit of No Guns Life. And I watched some Psychopath Season 3, which we'll be covering. And other than that, just been,
Just been
playing-
going on.
playing games.
Playing the James, yes.
Nier.
Really.
Who would win in a fight? The psychopath gun or the gun face guy?
Well, a Psychopath's gun can only shoot criminals, so.
Is the gun face guy a criminal?
Mm,
Doesn't he violate
Technically.
Japan's
who you
illegal
ask.
firearm law, or something?
Yeah, sure.
He's an extended. He's an illegal existence.
Anyways,
Well, I mean like immigrants?
Or overextended, rather.
but
Immigrants aren't illegal.
not illegal. Toast.
Why do they call them illegal aliens then?
Then why do they
Because
have
they're
guns for heads?
Because they
Can you explain that,
Toast. All right, moving on.
idiot?
Thank you for your input, Nier. Definitely, again, we're gonna be covering, as you said, Psychopath season 3 with you this coming podcast. And Dark, what have you been doing these past 2 weeks? As you do.
I can tell you what he's not been doing. He's not been on PSO2 getting ready for the Etoile class.
Listen, I'm like kind of getting ready. I'm like halfway done or something. I gotta do like 5 more. Fuck, when does that end? Like,
The December 4th.
I'm like I'm honestly kind of fucked with that. Like, I hope I can get it done.
Just get
'cause
the stone. You need to get the stone. That's the
I
most
know.
important
I have a wild work week coming up, though. That's the problem.
Do the one coming up.
I know I'm gonna do the one that's coming up tonight. But yeah, so I've been trying to do some PSO2 stuff. I haven't really watched anything new except for Bookworm. I watched like all of that today and
Mhm.
didn't watch a different show that I probably should have, so I didn't steal No Guns Life. But shit happens, and then other than that, I've just been playing Grand Blue nonstop every moment of every day.
Yeah, this man's just literally addicted to Grand Blue, by the way.
Who would win in a fight? Dark in Grand Blue or Nier in
Listen,
Fate Grand
how
Order?
can I be addicted to Grand Blue if I'm losing to this Japanese crew?
Bro, you
Guild Wars.
literally wake up and start playing Grand Blue. Like, I can see you on Discord at like 7 in the morning being like, I'm hosting this raid, by the way. And, like, nobody's on.
Oh, jeez.
Listen,
do.
sometimes pop in at 5 a.m. I'm at the gym in between a set. I'm like, hey guys, by the way, I'm hosting
I need
Bahamut
to
Impossible
play
right
Grand
now.
Blue
Like,
Oh my god. Anyways,
I I mean,
That's just dead time, though. It's like, what else am I gonna do?
I watched.
Between sets, like,
not play
yeah.
this addictive mobile game.
I mean, I marathon Clannad at 4 in the morning. What's the big deal?
Like I'm just
Toast.
wasting time.
Oh my god.
But yeah, it was pretty sick. I rolled a really good new character today. So
Which one?
Okay.
Tell us about this new character.
Her name is Shitori, and she's a samurai light
Oh.
character.
I was gonna say, if you got John, I would have.
No, if I got Jean, I would have screamed. But I sank 15 free tickets in and didn't get Grand Jean arc, which sucks because Jean d'Arc Grand, regular Jean is really good, and
regular
Grand
John is
Jean.
fucking useless now.
Oh really? Oh well, not
she
because
literally
Grand.
just power creeped herself. Like,
Yeah, that's well. I was gonna say regular Jean was good, but now Grand Jean is fucking insane. I don't know what they were thinking making this character being the same element
I don't
as
know why
her.
she's the exact same element as John. Like, she's just better. She's one of the strongest characters in the game now.
Here,
too.
who would win in a fight, Grand John or Grand Ruler John Dark?
What?
What?
Probably Fate's John, because she's a fucking servant.
Okay.
Yeah, but this Jean gives like 30%, an extra 30% light damage up at all times. So like,
Whoa.
I don't know, man. I don't.
Anyways, with that, again, you'll be talking with us about one of the series that you watched, I believe. No Guns Live. So we'll be covering that as well. This podcast and Toast.
What did you watch?
I watched Rifle is Beautiful. I kept watching Send Us a Bookworm. I watched
what do you think about? What do you think about?
What do you think about books?
Dark, can you finish this question?
What do you think about worms?
It's like I know what you think about bugs, but what about the worm part?
Yeah, what about the
What do you
worm
think
part?
about them together?
Yeah.
What do you think about books with worms?
Worms
You like
just
those?
pop up. It's like pop-up books.
But no, I forget. I meant to mention that show's fucking weird because the way they did the isekai is bizarre.
It reminds me of a little bit more like some sort of like escape the room kind of thing. Like if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but it's just really weird how they're like, yeah, she wasn't reincarnated. She just kind of fucking stole this person's body, by the way, but also didn't, maybe?
Oh yeah, that sometimes happens where it's like in isekai it's not too uncommon, but essentially it's just like I
feel like
you wake up as like it's not like a dual consciousness, but you're like, oh, there are like remnants of this dude's like soul inside of you that tells you, oh yeah, I'm a kid still, or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was just
Yeah,
like, this
that's
is fucking weird.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't really know why isekai authors do that so much. I think what it is that they want to hit the ground running in this sort of like they want to be like, yeah, there's this kid and he does stuff, and it's like they don't want to go through the whole like shebang of like birthing and like starting out explaining the background as them as a baby or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
But then and then suddenly kind of being like, oh, by the way, I've been reincarnated, blah blah. But after doing the whole like I was suddenly in this girl's body, then they're kind of like they kind of just leave it alone, or they sometimes come back to it when they're just like talking about like relationships, or it's like, oh yeah, I'm still a kid or something like that, and it's like it's not very well done. But then again, neither is a lot of other stuff in these fanfiction isekais.
I wasn't so much gonna say that like it was poorly done, more so than it's just like very bizarre. Like to see where it goes is gonna be strange. Like how they're gonna
usually
justify a lot of the stuff.
Essentially, like
Not
where
justify,
it goes,
but because
yeah,
it seems like
how they're gonna try to use
with it.
Yeah,
with characters. You're not.
Usually the author tends to leave it behind, except for when it's like it's really on the nose. Like the main character has some sort of very like childlike experience, right? Like oh she or he is being cared for by their mother, or just like playing innocently in the playground with people, and then at that moment, the kid side comes to light. Is sort of like how the authors usually put it. But other than that, it's like pretty much ignored like 99% of the time. Is sort of how that works. But it is definitely a little bit whack. But yeah. Anyways, Toast. What
Wow.
did you?
Oh,
What were you up to these past 2 weeks?
I watched Clannad at 4 a.m. It's still as good as I remember.
Jesus Christ.
All I said when I was watching is, this is pretty good. And it was pretty good.
Okay, so anything else?
Have you seen Clannad's Fire? It's pretty good.
Yes, I've seen.
Yeah, but have you seen it at 4 a.m.?
Yeah. 4
Can't say
4
that I have.
a.m. when your brain is working like 1,000,000 miles a minute. It's great.
That's
4
not.
a.m. when your brain's wavelengths match up to Clannad and you get to get bonus scenes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think the brain works more at 4 in the morning.
4 a.m. when you have the cognitive intelligence
Yeah.
of Hio.
It
You-
doesn't
Yeah,
work
you
more,
know.
it just burns more energy.
You
Yeah,
never went
you're-
Galaxy Brain at 4 a.m. when you're doing
Yeah,
raids?
your IQ definitely goes up more at 4 a.m.
You
Yeah,
empathize.
that's why if you don't sleep for like 2 weeks, you die because your IQ gets way
Yeah, it
too
just
high
gets
and
too
your
big,
brain
right?
gets too big.
You're
It's like that movie. What was it?
Initial D.
Scarlett
Megamind?
Johansson.
Oh, fucking Lucy or whatever.
Yeah, well, she gets too big brained.
Near, do you remember
so
that one
turn
scene
her
in
into
Initial
a
D
flash drive.
where we're talking about in the zone because your concentration is raised to the utmost limit? That's me at 4 a.m. watching Clannad.
That's me at 4 a.m. drifting.
Anyways,
Oh yeah. Oh, I saw Konosuba in theaters.
yes,
And
yes.
with the Tuesday anime crowd, they were loud.
Yikes.
Yeah, how are the visuals?
Apparently, it's JC staff who made this.
It is.
That's weird.
Not Studio D.
No, but it looks
Yeah.
exactly like Dean. So I was like, what's the difference?
Wow, thank God. Thank God JC staff can at least match Dean at this point.
JC staff's so talented that they can replicate Dean's style.
Yeah, I was like,
It's
what
like-
is like? I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure this is JC staff? Are you lying to me?
It's like taking like a professional artist and then going to like a kindergarten class and then having the artist like replicate what the kids are doing.
Wow.
Very
I
talented.
can't believe it. I bet Leonardo da Vinci could perfectly mimic fucking Homestuck style, dude.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
But yeah, it's very.
It was
interesting.
all right. I didn't get a thingy though. You know, they give you a fancy piece of paper when you watch anime movies right nowadays.
No?
Yes.
Okay.
What?
They
What-
give
what
they
do
give
you
you a thingy like, hey, here's a promotional poster or a postcard thing when you watch anime movies.
Didn't you steal one?
Oh no, that's different. After the movie, I saw it on the table near the exit. I was like, hey, what's this? One Piece Stampede. Why didn't you give this to me last month? So I took a couple.
Okay.
And then there was also a Terminator Dark Fate poster. I was like, why is this stack so high? So I took one too. They didn't care.
All right then.
So
Well,
they didn't
yeah.
give me a One Piece Stampede one last time, and I was like, why didn't you give this to me? They're like, yeah. Okay.
they just didn't know. Okay. Well, that's definitely a little bit interesting. So you'll be talking about a little bit about one of the series that you watched these past 2 weeks
Yeah.
as
sure.
well. Again,
Okay. Oh
And,
wait, I had. What was my question?
you had a question?
I was gonna ask
Okay,
you a question,
what is
Spire, but I forgot. So I'll think about
Okay.
it.
Well, I'll keep going. But anyways, for me, these past 2 weeks, I want to say, I mean, other than I've again, as I say, kept up with stuff like Bookworm, Honsuki no Gekkojo. I've done, or I've watched Rifle is Beautiful recently. I watched the very beginning of, and I kept up with Africa no Salaryman. And so
How
I've been-
Africa is the salaryman.
Yeah. I watched a little bit of the beginning of Kabukicho Sherlock, which was
Which one's that?
It's the one where it's like the Jack the Ripper thing with Sherlock, but it's like all set in Japan.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
How is
The,
that
And
one?
then
the not Fate series. I gotcha.
what?
What?
How is that one?
Yeah.
That was interesting.
I mean, again, I only watched like the first episode. I think it's gonna be pretty um stand. Well, not standard, but it's like the sort of how do I say it? The tone kind of reminded me of stuff like Hakata Tonkotsu ramens.
Right.
You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Wasn't that the
Uh,
one where the dude dressed as a chick? Is that the
What?
tonkatsu part of the ramen?
No.
Wasn't-
He was
wasn't the-
thinking about that that show with like all the different assassins or whatever, and like
Yeah,
one of them
yeah,
was
yeah.
the trap.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was
Oh.
named
Yeah, wait.
after a food as well, though. It was
Oh,
something
oh,
else.
oh. Tokyo,
But,
not
yeah.
Tokyo Ravens.
Tokyo
it had
Raven
like
is completely.
it had like a food in its title.
Yeah, it's
Food Wars.
no, that's not Shokugeki no Soba Toast.
Are you sure?
Yes, I agree. But yeah, the cross dresser is the Yukikaji, I believe. One. It's Rin Shenmin. But yeah. Anyways, other than that, I haven't been up to too much. There was I did have to roll some gacha in a mobile game I sort of play, except not really anymore. Called again Idolmaster Cinderella Girl Starlight Sage.
Did you
I
get
had
what you
to-
wanted?
I got like half of what I wanted. I needed.
You got 4
I wanted.
subscribers.
Oh my god, so fucking stupid. I needed like 2 of the 3 SSRs in the feature box, and I fucking spent like 2/3 of a spark and only got 1 out of the 2, and I needed to stop there because else I would get completely fucked in the future. But I got the important thing that I wanted, so that was that. But yeah, other than that, not
Oh.
too much. Um,
Hey,
Man.
you barely escaped death spy. I almost sent you guys a not safe for work image in direct messages.
what the fuck, Toast? And then yeah, other than that, not too much. Been pretty grateful recently that I'm not in California because apparently, because of all like
The avocado prices are rising again.
yes, the avocado prices, but mainly also the forest fires and just like the fires that are blazing all over the place, as well as the recent school shooting, which is again obviously very very unfortunate. And apparently, they say these fires and stuff like that are going to last like up until December, which is kind of ridiculous, but also it's becoming apparently just like a daily thing for California people now. So
The wildfire?
Dude, it'll just get too cold and the fires will go out.
Yeah.
yeah,
How can there be a fire in winter? It's too cold.
literally impossible.
What's the
Yeah,
freezing
it's
point of fire?
freezing.
32 degrees.
What the fuck
No,
are you
man.
talking about?
I don't think that's correct. dude.
What then? Isn't the freezing point of fire like 32 degrees? That's when.
There's no freezing point of fire.
I don't think that's how it works, though.
Fire can burn in like sub 40 Celsius.
How? There's no air there.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You know the vacuum of space is 32 degrees. That's why fire
Yeah.
can't burn there.
There,
The vacuum of space with its temperature, right?
The vacuum of
Alright.
space isn't created by what temperature it is.
The vacuum of space doesn't have a temperature.
All right, Tess.
It's a
Here-
vacuum, it
here's a
has
simple way to think about it. You know how it's like Charmander's tail is like a flame?
You,
You
know,
know
how
when-
it? Yeah, you know how
you know when
he almost
Charmander
died?
freezes? They don't show that the flame freezes. Like there's just no flame, Toast, right?
Have you ever seen
That's
a
how fire works.
Have you ever seen a Charmander in winter? I don't think so. The only time we saw a Charmander was when it was raining, and that's definitely not freezing temperature.
I don't-
There
I-
would be snow then.
I
Yeah,
don't
why do you think they
like,
live in valleys? So they could raise the heat there.
values don't prevent you?
Yeah, valleys don't freeze, bro.
Yeah, look with all the Charizards there, the heat rises.
This is the best lesson in a Pokemon ecology ever. But anyways,
Are there
obviously-
Charmanders in what is it? Galola, Alola, Galua? What's the new
Isn't
region?
it like one of the only original Pokemon in like the new Pokemon?
There's
Oh.
Charmander like fucking everywhere because Game Freak is like, well, if Charmander's not in the game, then nobody will buy it.
aren't like half the Mega or like Giga Evolutions or whatever they call it now like look like Charizard these days?
Only if they're
pretty sure-
kaijus.
Pretty sure the new Pokemon game does not have Mega Evolution.
Oh
It's not-
really?
it's
Okay.
good.
No, they just have like
Just
they
the
have
Giga
like
one.
yeah, they have
Yeah, just the upscaled
that
model.
like big shit.
What a well, okay, anyways, that's neither here nor there. So again, I watched Rifle is Beautiful, and with that we should probably move on. I guess cover me. I'll go first.
Alright,
which,
what did
again-
you watch?
So yeah, I did watch again Rifle is Beautiful for the series I'm covering this week, and it is a series by Studio 3 Hertz. 3 Hertz you might know from stuff they did. What is it? They did Sora no Method, which was like a pretty, I want to say, pretty under the radar series. It wasn't great, but it was pretty not very well known. Dimension W for some of the earlier stuff.
Was
Flappers.
Dimension W the robot android one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a mystery one. The like underground kind of like or cyberpunk-ish kind of thing. But yeah, Flip Flappers. That was one of their more famous ones. Princess Principal, again another pretty famous one, and Sword Art Online Alternative, Gangale Online. So they're definitely behind some pretty notable series from recent days, and this time they did Rifle is Beautiful. So the art is like pretty standard. They don't do much. The good thing is they don't do much like messing around with 3D of the characters. Like you know how it's like, especially in like recent music series these days, they do that shit where it's like they show the instrument, like if it's like they're playing on a keyboard, right? And then the character's fingers turn 3D as well as the keyboard. You know that shit, right?
Classic. I love
Yeah.
Your Lie in April.
But then, when it zooms out, it's like they're kind of 2D, and then maybe the keyboard is 3D. It's like there's all this weird shit going on that they're trying to do compromise, right?
Yeah.
They don't do that. It's pretty much just like the rifles, and then like the equipment stuff like that is the 3D, and then
Wait, the
everything else,
rifles
like,
are 3D? How does that work?
What do you mean?
They're just 3D.
They're 3D models.
Like, why? Do the rifles move? Do they do that cool scene like in a High School of the Dead?
Usually it's just like rotoscoping kind of thing where it's like they show like you know how it's like with every like
Well, it's like
shooting
how
or like
in
archery
Meg.
scenes they always show like the front of the character at the end. It's like and then they rotate the character around and it's or like rotate the character around or the camera goes counterclockwise, right, or around the character and it arrives at like the front right, showing down the scope. That's pretty much like what they do, and then during that the rifle is like 3D. You know what I mean?
So they don't have to draw it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, also, I'm not super surprised because it's just like mechanical shit in general.
Yeah. I mean that
Usually
works
what
fine with
becomes
3D.
or
Pretty
like
fine.
metal, like hard metals.
Yeah. Nobody's like, oh my god, I can't. That looks so ugly, and it's just like boxes. You know what I mean? So I think that's okay. Other than that, nothing too much to say about audio visuals. I wasn't particularly impressed with the opening, ending, anything like that.
Tell us about the guns.
Yeah, so that's actually a good point. So I was going to bring up. So the thing that they're doing, they keep calling it in the English localization or the English sub, keep calling it the shooting club. I don't think
What?
that's
What?
entirely accurate.
No, it's
I
like
think it's sharpshooting, right, or like
Yeah,
some
it's
sort
like
of like
Olympic
marksmanship,
sharpshooting, right?
marksmanship, or sharpshooting or something.
Do they have a rivalry with the archery club?
I don't think that's how that works.
Why
But
not?
Yeah, and then they're gonna have a fight.
Yeah,
yeah, they're
that.
they're
See
both
who wins.
they're both Olympic sports. They count.
yeah, but I don't think
Yeah. So is like
swimming
ping
is like
pong and
swimming. Yeah,
beach
Look,
volleyball.
it's gonna
They
be
don't have-
fucking kendo versus
rivalries.
archery
Yeah.
versus rifle.
versus wait, yeah, it's like what,
Yeah, versus
but,
versus the karate group.
I don't think that's how it works. But
Why
anyway,
not? That'd be great.
it would be pretty interesting. But anyways, so that is a good point that Toast brings up. So the club is like you think it is sort of like the archery club in that like they deal with say like maybe like airsoft. Like obviously they wouldn't really
like that
deal with
other
real guns,
series.
but it would be like airsoft, right? But it's actually not even airsoft. It's they use I don't know whether it's
Live ammo?
this. No, that's I literally said
Airsoft is
they
not live
wouldn't
ammo.
really.
That's different.
No. I literally said they probably wouldn't. They wouldn't be like people wouldn't be usually working with live ammo like just regular people, especially in Japan where again gun control laws are pretty severe. But in Japan, I don't know whether this is like much of a thing anywhere else, but they use these beam rifle or light beam rifles. So they
What?
essentially, you pull the trigger and then like a beam of light comes out, then it records it.
Like
Um,
Gundam or laser tag?
Sort of like more like laser tag.
Oh.
I don't know why
Said
it would be like
beam rifle. I got really excited.
So
I
they're,
know.
These beam
they're like
rifles.
laser pointer guns.
Yes, exactly.
How do you even
So-
have drop then?
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I was thinking. It's like I don't think. Apparently, this is like a real thing. Like if you search for laser beam rifles Japan or something like that, right? It's like there's a website about the Tokyo 2020 Olympics where it's like they say that people in Japan use these laser beam rifles for like for sports, for competition and stuff like that, just for accuracy stuff like that. And I was just thinking, I just don't think it's very realistic because again, as you said, there's no drop, right? And the point of
I mean, there's
why
no,
is like snipers and stuff like that being hard is
Nothing.
fact
There's
that
no,
there's
like,
drop.
fucking
There's no
wind.
yeah, there's no way, and also there's no recoil, right? And recoil is quite difficult to handle for many people.
If they
Right.
didn't have recoil, what's stopping them from using the biggest gun in the world, a 50 cal?
Yeah, so I think not very realistic, but it is
Japan's
like
finally created hit scan fucking Olympic game.
yeah. But yeah, it's I do think it's a little bit ridiculous, but it's an actual thing. It's not just something made up in the anime. It's an actual thing. So good
If
question.
they have if they have beam rifles, why don't they make beam sabers?
just lightsabers.
Yeah.
next anime.
You've
They've
never had
already
Girls Con.
perfected swords with the katana. Why would they do anything?
You've never had a flashlight
Yeah, that's
duel?
true.
It's just like that.
Fold the light beams 50,000 times, create the perfect lightsaber. But yeah, so they work with these light beam rifles, and that the story is based around that sort of club. They have the 4 kids coming together. They're all obviously very talented in various ways, right? They've won the they've gone to the junior national competition. This girl's a genius. That girl's a genius. Blah blah blah. They're all geniuses. Blah blah blah. Right.
Wow.
So that's
What
that.
what are their quirks?
So they all have it's pretty standard personalities. Like one sort of the mama of the group, like the very like kind, like droopy eye kind of calm one. They're the main character is like the hyper one, like the energetic. Oh, let's do things, blah blah. But she's a dummy. And then there's like the tsundere, sort of like kind of leader, like one of the group. And then the 4th one is just like cool headed, shortcut, a hair, and she's like, oh,
A single
I don't really
hair.
say anything or smile or single hair. I don't think that's how that works either. But so if you guys have watched Hidano Arya, right? Arya of the Scarlet
Season
Animal, I
1
believe,
or
right?
the spin-off?
Season 1, whatever.
Did you know they had a collab with PSO2? I didn't get Arya's guns. They were like what, 17 million dark?
Probably.
But
I
yeah,
don't remember that collab.
yeah. If you remember Reki, the green hair girl from that series, essentially that's like her.
Oh, you mean the Sogeki of the group?
The sniper, yes.
Who would win in a fight? That green-haired girl or Sogeki?
I don't know, dude. But that's pretty much how that's laid out. As for the story in itself, it's not. I don't really. It's kind of weird because it is just like it is. The basis is for girls in a club, and they all have their standards or personality traits that it's supposed to balance with each other, right? And that's sort of how the story's sort of supposed to progress. And then usually these stories or these series end up doing one of two or three things. So one is they go pretty hard on the trivia. An example of this would be like Upot, right? The gun series where it's like each of the girls are like personalizations or personifications, excuse me, of the guns, right? Or no, is it called anthropomorphization? Right? That's the actual term, right?
They're actual
Anthropomorphization.
they're the actual guns and they wield themselves. How does what do you want to call that?
Anthropomorphized versions of the guns, right? And then two is they talk a lot. They each have their sort of like big like background, and then like the series each kind of spends time talking about like each one of them in more detail, right? Like, oh, I had a trouble pass, and then blah blah, blah. And then I did this, blah blah blah. So an example of that would be something like Kono Oto Tomare, right? Or Sata Sound, which came out again recently. A third example would be, of course, something just like lighthearted. They all have the personalities, but they're just like constantly just bouncing around each other all the time. An example of that would be something like one of those short series, like Yushiki, Ayura, Yuri Yuri to a decent extent, but Yuri Yuri is a little bit more comedy focused than specifically like relying on a theme like four girls in a club trick. So that's sort of the three routes that these series tend to go down. And if you asked this series what route it was going down, that series would be, or this series would be like, So it's very weird. So the first episode kind of starts off where it's like, it covers the whole like, oh, I want to be in a shooting club. Wow, this club, let's join it together, blah blah blah, and all this crap. And then like 5 minutes later or 10 minutes later, suddenly they're like the four girls are already in, and it's just like it skips to this in media res scene, and it's like what? And so then club life starts with the four girls, I guess, and then each episode is a relatively formulaic transition from at the beginning or like parts in the first half generally, and they cover this general trivia-ish of how the marksmanship, the light beam rifles and stuff like that work. And then that kind of transitions into pretty much just like the light-hearted talk, the third type of series I was talking about, where it's like they're just bouncing off each other and they're kind of creating comedic situations. And they're like, oh man, I love this club, I love you guys, blah 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 blah, right? And they're doing all of this. Sometimes the series will sound like it's trying to do number two, that is sort of like the deeper introspections of the characters, like, oh man, she's actually a really good girl, and then they'll like hang on that for a second and then just immediately go back to like doing lighthearted banter talk without really like exploring the characters. And I don't mind that they're not doing these deeper introspections, because there are plenty of good series that don't necessarily do that. But I do find it a little bit tedious at times. And the reason for this is because the way it feels like for instance, like with Upot, right? The way it feels like is like there's just trivia all the time, right? So, or like most of the time. So it feels like I'm just getting a continuous sort of fun lecture type of series, right? I'm just constantly learning stuff, or it's like there are these fun battle scenes or whatever it is. With number three, stuff like Yushiki, Ayura, Yuri, they kind of have this lighthearted thing going on, but they know that's their bread and butter. So they always try to make some sort of comedic shtick, or they try to keep the momentum going. So the series that do those well never really feel like they give up on the momentum or the pacing, and it's pretty decent. But this series feels like after you're done with the trivia part, and then they're all just doing regular school stuff, they're all getting together, oh, she's lighthearted, oh, she's tsundere, oh, the cool-headed girl never smiles, haha, blah, blah, and when they're going through this, it feels like the transition, the change in pace from the trivia section of the episode really just kills the momentum, and the writers don't know how to make enough sort of good comedy bits to make the second half good. So it just feels like, oh, they're just kind of going through the motions. Oh, we're all just nice girls, blah blah blah, and I'm not really impressed. And furthermore, I'm just bored by what's going on in the second part, which is kind of disappointing for me. Uh, but I don't know. They might be able to. It might get slightly better soon. I mean, I'm already like 5 episodes in, so I don't know if it'll actually get better soon. But
It sounds
I
really
don't.
similar
Le-
To
board
what?
game show.
Yeah. So it's. I just. I don't know what I'm really hoping for. Again, it's the thing that I always say about anime series, right? Is whatever you guys are doing, whether it's doing an action series or doing introspection or trying to do moral themes or trying to do all of it at the same time, whatever a series is trying to juggle, everything has to be good. If you can't manage that, then you shouldn't have done it in the first place, right? If things just start falling apart because you were trying to juggle too many things at the same time, you shouldn't have done that in the first place. Um, it's just again a case of biting off more than you can chew, and I think in this case, it wasn't necessarily they were biting off more than they could chew. It's that they were kind of just throwing things in that they knew that, Shoot Girls in a Club series would have, like factors
Do
that
you,
this sort of series would have. And it's just like none of them were really well thought out all the
do
way.
you think something like this would be better if it um was either a short and like cut out essentially the entire second half, or
Hmm.
if or just if it wasn't two very distinct portions of the show? Because that was the main problem I had with the first like 2 episodes I watched of board game show so far.
I
I
think
did
I
not
think on,
keep
I
up
think
with
an
that
interesting way
plot.
to do it is like um not an interesting way, a pretty standard way I've seen sometimes is like make the lighthearted comedy the core of your series and make sure the comedy bit is strengthened. And then while you're doing that, maybe as you go along, especially in the second, if you let's say you split the an episode into 3 bits, right? Like each 6 minute segments, and like the second and third, sort of 6 minute segments, you would maybe throw in trivia here and there to be like we're this is an actually gun themed series or it's a board game themed series or whatever it is. So it's just to emphasize that, kind of throw these in, but then make the core itself the solid comedic bit. So I think that's one way you could do it. I think the short, in terms making it a short and focusing on the theme again, whether it's guns or board games, I think that's also a tried and true formula. There are definitely a lot of there are at least multiple ways that this could work. It's just that I feel like neither the author. I don't know whether this sort of going nowhere thing is in the original manga, but I just feel like a lot of this just goes nowhere, and it's very unfortunate that it's just like it's not even like I like when I'm watching this, I don't even feel like I'm not angry or anything. I'm like it's almost like Tamayuro, where I'm just like, oh, it's just not worth watching. Like why am I even watching this kind of thing? You know that feeling, right? You're not angry at it. You're just like,
I wish something was happening.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So that's again a very unfortunate part of it.
What
But that's
what what color beams are they using? Do they all have different color beams, or is it just red?
I think they're just like uh, I think it's just like white beams or something like that. This like they don't really show it.
No
They just show like the
colors.
scoring. They just show the scoring.
That's
scoring.
'cause how
But
how
yeah.
can they, how can they have
you
night
can't
vision?
see a laser like line in real life, right?
Then what
Yeah,
what
it's you can only see the
then
point.
what do you call laser sights? Why don't they just use those? Green's the best color for night.
Laser sights are not lasers.
Well,
But
it's
yeah,
not
Not even a
anyway.
different.
laser sight. There's no such. What the fuck is a laser sight?
For your what?
In like a butchered like name, you can call a red dot sight. Those
Do,
aren't lasers.
do you not know what lasers? Yeah,
Well,
Or do
like,
you
know,
mean like an
have,
well, you can.
actual, or do you mean like an actual laser attachment?
yeah. Why don't you
Something.
just use those?
Yeah,
Well,
typically
they're,
when
they're,
they use those, they're not like
You can't
you have to,
physically
can't
see
see
the
the
beam of
beam.
light unless
you
there's
have to,
like
yeah,
What
yeah,
about
you
in
have,
Resident Evil
dust in
4?
there.
You can see the light.
It's a
you have to.
fucking video game, Toast.
You have to be in a pretty specific situation with regards to more like dusty or like sort of particulate is sort of
The
the
whole
scientific
the
name for it.
whole point is to see whether it hits, right? So the laser sight will.
Well, you don't need
It
the
show,
light
here,
for
look,
that.
it
You
shows a
don't
Just see a
marker.
dot.
You don't need to see the beam of light to having laser optics be helpful. All you need is the dot.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't need to see
Yeah,
the beam.
the-
As if you see the dot and you're like, oh no, I'm hit. So why didn't they just use those? Isn't
You
that
just want
cheaper than making?
different colored dots.
Yeah,
Well,
I want the $2 smiley
It's like-
face DLC.
it's like you know how in FPS games you can change the color of your dot. It's like that.
yeah, $2
Yeah.
smiles, man.
DLC for the dot. But anyways, that's pretty much all I had to say about Rifle. It's beautiful. No, at the end of the day, I just don't. Unless you're really, really, really into this series, and again, I've been mud knee deep, like waist deep in these series. But I personally don't feel like this is worth much of a watch. I just don't think the pacing is worth it. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say about Rifle. It's beautiful. Don't bother really watching unless you're really addicted to these sorts of series. And with that,
So what? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll get right on it.
and with that, we are going to be moving on to Nier.
Yeah, Nia, tell us about guns.
Yeah, this
Tell us
is
about
gun
people pointing
talk.
guns at other people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
people
tell us
pointing
about
guns, and
Prozed.
then the gun tells you you can't shoot this person. I watched Psycho Pass season 3, which is a bit of an outlier this season. It's a bit unique. So first of all, it started way later than like every series this season. Pretty sure it started like October 25th. And it is a 8-episode season. But the catch is every episode is 40 to 45 minutes long.
Oh, so they
Um,
beat the system.
Yeah, so they're going for the, I guess, the Netflix series style pacing for episodes. And I don't think I really need to go too into like what Psychopaths is. It was a pretty popular series when it first came out, but basically it's sort of like a sci-fi, like semi what's the word, like Orwellian Japan,
Dystopian, yeah.
yeah, dystopian, where this system called the Sybil system basically monitors the mental coefficiency or whatever the fucking term is.
No, yeah.
Basically, it's like a score that
My
this
citizen
system
score?
sort of. I mean, it's kind of like a citizen score,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's for your brain.
It's for your mental state, essentially.
Basically, it's a score that if it goes like over 100, it basically means you're at a risk of like
It's like
being.
I don't know whether it got inspired by this. I mean, this premise is pretty common, but it's
Yeah.
like Equilibria. I think that's
Yeah,
the movie, right?
yeah.
Equilibrium.
Yeah, it's a lot like that. Very, definitely inspired by a lot of series that are like, well, what if we could prevent crime
regulate the
by,
mind. Yeah.
like figuring out if a criminal like is even thinking about
You're
crime,
preempting it. Yeah, exactly.
just arresting them based on their thoughts, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a system like that, and basically, the way Psychopaths is set up is it's sort of a detective series where the initial setup was, Kanahanazawa's character, she comes in and she's like, "I'm an inspector, haha," and then it's like, "Okay, here's your team, uh, of like, what they call latent criminals,
Right.
they're enforcers, basically people that are, um, their like mental score is too high, so they get put in this system where it's like they're latent criminals, but then they can, I guess volunteer to be enforcers, which are like mind cops,
Hmm.
Um, and they get these fancy guns and they shoot people
Guns.
and they explode into big bits. And
Hmm.
Psychopaths was very popular. Um, it was the original was written by or directed by uh Urabuchi, right? If I'm not
Uh,
mistaken.
I believe so.
Um,
I don't know whether it was directed, but it's like part of the original composition, right? Probably.
yeah, he was I'm pretty sure he was one of the head guys.
Yeah.
Um, and since then, Psychopaths has gotten
Serious composition, exactly. It's getting
yeah.
with you. Yep.
So, this is very popular when it came out. It was very good, solid detective series. And since
Hmm.
then, it's gotten, a season two, which, in my opinion, was absolute dog shit garbage. It was really boring. It brought in new characters, and a lot of them were not very good. Um, it set up a lot of really weird stuff. Uh, it took out Kokami Shinya, which was one of the most liked characters of the original season.
Okay.
And then they got a movie. Psychopaths movie came out. It was very good. It pretty much brought back uh, all the characters people really liked from Psychopaths. It was a really good setup. It set up for a lot of other stuff. And since then, it's gotten a bunch of like OVAs,
Hmm.
which I assume had set up a lot more. I haven't watched those, so going into Psychopaths season 3, I was a little lost. So Psychopaths 3 is obviously the third season of Psychopaths, but I feel like going just from season 2 and even with the movie, there's a lot
Right.
that has happened that I'm unaware of. So Kanahanazawa's character, Tsuminori Akane, is
Hmm.
apparently like in prison. She's been locked up and she's awaiting judgment by the civil system. I don't know what the fuck she did, but a lot of characters are like talking about it.
To be fair,
Um,
isn't that like a pretty classic twist? Like,
y-
oh man, she got caught, or kind of thing, right?
yeah. And there's a lot of scenes with her that it's like, oh, I'm passing the baton on to you guys. These new
Yeah,
main
yeah,
characters.
exactly. And that they're gonna team up later,
I
probably.
don't know if these OVAs have actually like gone over what she did or not, or if this is like something where like you're supposed to find out as the series progresses. But I don't know what the fuck's going on with her. Um,
Yeah.
Shinya, he shows up. Ginoza, he shows up. They're not in the like unit anymore. They're like international super cops now, and they beat the shit out of the unit that's in this season, and they're like, haha, we're cooler than you. Bye. Um, but for the most part, uh, it's pretty solid right now. So Psychopath season 3, it immediately sets up these two new main characters. Um, one's Shindo Arata, which is a young Genki guy, of course voiced by Kajiyuki.
Hmm.
Um, he pretty much looks like a Haikyuu character, but he's got this weird ability. I forget what they call it. It's like a mentalism. Um,
Mentalist? Is it like
yeah,
basically the word?
mentalist.
Yeah,
Um,
mentalist.
and it's this. They don't explain it very well, but basically he goes into this trance mode where it's like he gets supreme, like immense amount of empathy, and
What does that mean?
it lets him basically become another person, right? So he goes into this
Like
weird
mind sync kind of thing, or like?
yeah, sort of.
Yeah, okay.
But the thing is, he can do it with dead people too. So
What the fuck?
it's
What? So he's
it's
a psychic. So he's a psychic, essentially.
it's. I mean, they emphasize that it's not ESP, right? It's
Oh
like
my fucking
all.
god.
It's like this weird. it's just this trained mental state that he has,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
But it's pretty much just a setup of being like, hey, we have like our own Sherlock Holmes like little visual like setup, right? Where he goes into the state and then he can retrace the steps of like something that happened,
Right.
right? So the first case they go on is this like uh this plane crashes, right? And
Yes.
there's only one guy that dies, and he retraces the steps and it figures out like the guy panicked. He went out of his little like passenger pod. He went into this like cargo hold, and then the cargo hold opened and he got uh sucked out into like the
Cracking?
ocean, right?
Okay.
And this guy, as he's retracing the steps, he almost steps out of the back of the plane into the ocean,
Oh, okay.
and so
Okay.
they have to stop him.
Right.
So he literally becomes the other person, right?
Right.
Um,
Right.
Again, it's not explained super well, but it's pretty much just them being like, oh, I could figure out what this guy did here and there, and you know, um,
Right. Right.
and they're like, oh, it takes huge amount of strain on your brain and your body. It's like
Right.
yeah, but I got to do it. So um, and the other main character is a I'm probably gonna pronounce this improperly, but he's K. Mikhail Ignatov. Uh, he's a Russian immigrant to Japan,
Ignatov. Yeah.
um, and he's Arata's like, I guess, bro. They're basically like a buddy cop duo.
Right. Right.
He kind of keeps him in check. He makes sure that Arata doesn't fucking kill himself when he's, retracing somebody else's steps.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've got their, crew enforcers. I'm pretty sure most of them are returning from season two. I kind of wiped a lot of season two's characters out of my mind, so I'm just gonna assume. Um, but they're basically ragtag group of uh, ruffians, right?
Right.
And I mean it's psychopaths, right? So it's a very different setup this time. Um, with the pacing, it's a lot slower paced just because of the fact that the episodes are 40 minutes long now.
Okay. Okay.
And it feels more in line with I guess the original Psychopaths like setup of like there's a villain that's pulling the strings, and the team is basically just solving cases, and in the act of solving cases they're uncovering bits and pieces of like who this mastermind is, what he's trying to do, and it's kind of like a case by case thing with an overarching plot, right?
Okay. Okay.
Which is what the original Psychopaths was for its initial half, I'd say. It was like a case by case thing, episode
Right.
per
Right.
episode, and then they were like, "Here's the mastermind. Now you have to solve this big, uh, global conspiracy, right?"
Right. Right.
Um,
Exactly.
whereas Psychopath season two was just boring and nothing happened.
What's
So this is
because what kind of confuses me is like so was it ever confirmed like outside like in like interviews and stuff like that like season three was a little bit more of like it was like not a reboot but like a kick in the nuts kind of thing like kick in the
um,
rear
I
like
can I mean, it's definitely not a reboot, and I'll go into
yeah.
a
I'm
few
not saying
things
it's a reboot
about
but it's like did it feel like the or was it ever said in interviews that like the directors were just like let's try something else or something like that.
I definitely feel like, because like I said earlier, Psychopaths has gotten a lot of stuff between season two and season three,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
So um I think season two came out and people didn't like it, right? Like nobody liked season two. Um and I think they saw that and they were like, okay, well we'll make a movie. And the movie is much more action focused, right? It's quite action packed for a movie.
Right,
that's
exactly.
like based on a detective series, right? Um, and people loved it, right? So they're okay. And then I assume in the OVAs they probably got more into the groove of like what they want Psychopaths to really be and what resonates with people. And
Hmm.
then I feel like this is kind of like the end result of that. And
Right.
it definitely feels a lot more aligned with the original Psychopaths, which I like a
Hmm.
lot.
Right.
But I think the biggest flaw of Psychopaths season 3 is that it's a season 3, right?
What does that mean?
Psychopaths is a very convoluted series at this point.
Right.
There's
I mean, that was an inevitable consequence of the type of series that it is, though,
yeah,
right?
you have this detective series that's running on this, um, sci-fi dystopian system that's basically been uncovered and shut down and restructured like 3 times now
Yes.
due to the overarching plot. And you have all these characters. You have a shitload of characters. Um,
Yes.
and a lot of these characters are, they have to continue to be in the series, right? Because people
Right.
like the
Exactly.
characters. Um, and there's a lot of stuff going on that's just really hard to acknowledge, but they still have to like try to do that, right? Like I said
Right.
before,
Right.
I have no idea what's going on with Akane, which is literally the main character of season 1, right? Um, I don't know where she is, what she's doing. Like,
Right.
I don't know what her situation
It,
even
it,
is.
it
But
it's very in media res. There's not too much connection between whatever the ending and the conclusion in season 2 and what's happening in season 3.
yeah,
Is your main
yeah, there's a lot of scenes with Akane, right? Like she's in the ends of episodes, she's in the beginnings of episodes, she's in the middle of episodes, right?
point?
And she's kind of just doing stuff, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on, right? Um, like there's a lot of stuff that's just a byproduct of like all of the stuff that's happened before, that I feel like the series kind of suffers from a little bit, right?
Right.
Um, just all this stuff that Psychopaths kind of has to get out of the way and be like, okay, yeah, this stuff happened and this stuff is still happening,
Hmm.
but also here's this new cast, right? Um,
Yes.
it's a tricky game to balance, and outside of the fact that I really don't know what's going on, I think they're doing a decent job of it, like pacing wise, uh,
Okay.
because I don't, you know, there's no, there hasn't been a scene where they're like sitting at a table for like 10, 15 minutes and being like, here's what happened in the previous seasons, right?
So they haven't been reduced to how shall I say it? Tell not show or tell
Yeah,
instead of telling instead of showing.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're definitely kind of just going with like the plot, right? Like the plot is just
Yes. Sure.
continuously going, right?
Mhm.
And it's, I guess, the viewer's job to absorb the information that the series is presenting it,
As best as possible.
and
Yes.
I guess kind of makes sense to do it. Again, I didn't watch the like two. I don't know if it's 2 or 3 OVAs that have come before this. Maybe there's like vital information in there that I'm missing, right?
Right.
Maybe like this uh series just has that information there, and
And you're just not.
I just
You
don't
haven't
have
found
it,
it yet.
right?
Yeah.
Um, maybe Psychopath season 3 will present that later on. Um, like I said, it's quite slow paced. Like I'm pretty sure, uh, only by episode 3, which again, episodes are 40 minutes long, do they delve into like the 2 new main characters like backstory, right?
Right.
Uh,
Right.
so, and even then, it's like it's not very deep that they go into it. Um,
Right.
so I don't know. I think it's it's very solid as a detective series, right? Um, because I think the slower pace helps a lot with just them being detectives, right? They're gathering clues. They're butting heads with the people they're
So
trying
on its
to.
own, it's a good like detective series,
Yeah,
but
I
then
think.
you're like it's laden with the previous like lore and
Yeah.
psychopaths that it
So
has to explain.
yeah, it's a very, I think it's a very solid like detective show, and then it has the psychopath like brand that it has to keep
Explain,
up,
yeah.
right?
It has to
Um,
explain.
and I think it suffers a little bit because of that, but it's still solid, right?
Yeah.
Um, Visuals wise, I think it's really good. It's got a really catchy, snazzy OP that
Okay.
Psychopass is pretty much always known for, right? Psychopass has always
Hmm.
had really good OPs. Um, there's a lot of fighting. Uh, um, a little bit more than I remember being in Psychopass. Like, there's probably a fight like every episode. Um, and it's pretty much all like hand-to-hand combat, which is pretty cool. It's all very well animated. Um, the young guy Arata, he's like apparently he's a professional in parkour because he's
Oh, okay.
running along buildings and rooftops and shit. And, it's all very well animated.
Right, right. I mean, Psychopaths has definitely
Yeah.
enough money to do that, at least.
Studios done by Production IG.
Yes, yes, yes.
Uh, yeah, it looks really nice. The soundtrack is really really solid. Psychopaths has always had quite good music. I think
Hmm.
this one's um probably a cut above the rest. Uh, but yeah, I think it's a really really it's a it's a good show. But
Okay.
again, it's hard for me to say like, yeah, just watch Psychopaths 3, right? Because
Right.
again, there's
All right, I'll
so
start
much.
tomorrow.
There's so much that's happened,
And
right?
I'll only watch Psychopaths.
Yeah, there's so much that's happened in Psychopaths. And like even if see the thing is with Psychopaths, I normally like before season 3 came out, I would say watch Psychopaths season 1, skip season 2, and then just watch the movie, right? Um,
Okay.
and now I'm
Is
not.
that possible though?
Yeah,
Is that's the big question.
yeah. I mean, nothing really happens in season 2, right? Like the most that really happens in
Hmm.
season 2 is this new character comes in, um, and uh, Kana Hanazawa's character, Kane, like steps down at the end of the
Okay.
season, and she's like, "You're the investigator now," and then she goes off and tries to find Shinya, which
Mm.
is literally what the entire like movie is about, right?
Right, right, right.
Um, like not much happens in season 2, so it's definitely you can just skip it. Uh,
Right.
so I would normally have just said watch Psychopath season 1, watch the movie, and then that's pretty much all you need, right?
Hmm.
Now I feel like I have to say, I mean, I probably have to go back and watch these OVAs to just confirm this, but it seems like I would have to say watch Psychopath season 1, watch the movie, watch these multiple OVAs, and then you can watch Psychopath season 3, right?
Right, right, right.
Like there's a lot um
Of random shit.
yeah, there's a lot of shit that's just set up in Psychopath season 3 that I'm not sure they're really going to do like a lore dump on, right? I don't think they're
Right.
going to do an expedition of like, or exposition rather, of, this is the stuff that's happened before.
Hmm.
Uh, Now we have to deal with it, kind of thing.
Hmm.
Maybe they'll do a small recap of like what's going on with Akane, because again, she's
Right.
literally the main character of season 1, and like pretty much majority of season 2, even though nothing fucking happened in season 2.
Hmm.
Um, like she's pretty integral to the plot, right? Like she's pretty much the only character in the series at this point that really knows like the truth behind the Sybil system.
Right.
Um, so
So
something's definitely gonna have to happen with her. I just don't know what, right?
Yes. So, on this sort of subject, I did want to ask. You kind of answered it, but I want to extend a little bit more, so you can give you can also use this for your sort of like last words kind of thing. But along with sort of like last thoughts. So let's say you had a person that watched Psychopath season one, and he was like, "Yo, I fucking love Psychopath," and then he watched the beginning or enough of Psychopath season two, and then he was like turned off by it and stopped watching. Right? He was like, "Fuck this," kind of thing. Right? Um, and then you tell him about all this. Right? It's like Psychopath season three. It's really good, but then it has all the psychopaths, kind of luggage that you have to deal with, blah blah. And then he asks you, okay, yeah, but I guess is it worth watching? Yeah, like that would sort of be a natural question, right?
Yeah.
So then again, along with your last words, what would be your answer or your reply to that? Somebody who
Um.
is yeah, but is it worth watching then?
I think if you really like, uh, if somebody really liked Psychopath season one, right?
Right.
They
Yes.
like the world, the setup, the aesthetic, even, right?
Right.
Just, they liked season one, like just the general package. I think this is definitely worth watching. Um, Psychopath season three is a little bit less focused on like, um, waxing philosophy about like what are the
Yeah,
the
that's the big thing,
effects of
right?
living under a system like this. They kind of just like the characters in Psychopath season three are kind of like, this is the way the world is. This is just how it is.
Mm.
Um, I'm pretty sure the scenes with Akane are more along the lines of like, the system is, not what it seems. People are gonna have to fight out eventually, yada
Mhm.
yada yada, right? But that's not like the focus of this series.
Mhm.
Psychopath season one did a lot of that. I think it did enough of it for pretty much the rest of the series. It pointed out the flaws of the system, and then it was like,
And
yeah,
then
but
it's like, and then solve the mystery kind of
yeah,
afterwards, right?
it points out the flaws of the system, solves the mystery, it exposes like um the truth of the system, and then it's like, and then the rest of the world just goes on, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then the rest of it's more like a standard process for like a mystery series,
Yeah,
essentially.
and Psychopath season three is more focused on just we're the cops and we have to solve crimes. And I think it does that really well. It's a solid detective series. You know, it helps the fact that these two new main characters, they're very like they're wannabe like old school detectives, right? Like
Mhm.
they butt heads with the I guess their boss, right? Which was the new girl in season two. Um, and she's like, "Oh, I'm getting all these complaints for you guys. Like, what the hell are you doing?" They're like, "We're detectives." Um, so they're like wannabe Sherlocks, right?
Right.
Which
It's kind of like a Scotland Yard kind of thing
yeah,
compared to like
yeah, it helps a lot. And just like, you know, uh, instead of being like, "Oh, we're just doing our jobs and going with the system," right? They're more of like, "Yeah, but like, sometimes the system doesn't cover everything, and we've got to use like human intuition to figure out, get to the root of things, and then go with the system along with that to get
right.
to like the final uh like root of the crime stuff." And it's just, I don't know, it's a solid story. It'll be interesting to see how the later pacing goes, because like I said, it's a bit slower pace. It's an 8 episode series, but again, the episodes are twice as long as a normal series, so I guess in a technical way it's 16 episodes, right? um,
Right.
but yeah, it's good if you like Psychopaths. Season one, the general idea of Psychopaths, it's definitely worth watching. um, just be aware that there's a lot of stuff that you might be like, huh? um, but I don't think I don't think that should impact it too much, right? Like the core value there is the detective story, right? And it does it
Right,
really
right,
well.
exactly.
So yeah, I think it's worth it.
Okay.
There,
Um,
I get it.
What?
Do they ever
It's-
find the psychopaths? though?
Yeah, exactly. See, Dark gets it. But Dark. They always find the psychopaths because they have that magic machine that tells you if you're a criminal or not, thus marking the psychopath.
Yeah, but they don't have a pass for that.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do. It's in the
Like,
title.
who has the psychopath?
The psychopath is the magic machine. Like in that
But it doesn't give
one
them a free
episode.
pass to be a psycho.
Unlike what, that's why they have to have that one machine in like in Futurama where it tells you if you're a criminal or not.
It's basically what the system is, yeah.
Yeah.
anyways, again, thank you, Nier, for telling us a lot more about Psychopaths season 3. I know it got kind of, I wouldn't say swept under the rug, but definitely is much more hidden underneath the news than it was when it initially came out. So definitely
Yeah,
interesting to see
I
what
think
came of
I
it.
think a lot of that's due to the fact that it started way later than everything else, right?
Oh yeah, that's also very true. Yeah. But yeah. Anyways, thank you for helping cover that. And that we're going to move on to Toast.
What?
What do you have for us?
I got nothing for you.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay. I watched. Let me give you a 5-minute rundown of Konosuba movie. It's all right.
What?
It's 100% more Konosuba. But I had to pay $12.50 for a ticket, and I had to pay what $7 for Broly, and like $10.50 for One Piece Stampede, and also $11.50 for freaking Heaven's Feel. What's up with
Dude, I
that?
don't know where you go to the movies that you keep getting movie tickets for like fucking under $15. Every movie I see is like 18 to 20 bucks.
The heck?
Yeah,
What? That's crazy.
Yeah,
like a regular
we've been
movie
over
ticket.
this before, Toast. Your ticket prices are like insanely low. I don't know where the hell you go.
I don't know. Anyway, yeah, the Tuesday crowd means the Super Tuesday anime watchers were watching it. It was all right.
Okay.
I mean, it's 100% more Konosuba if you like that kind of thing. That's it. I don't
How
have
many
any.
times does Aqua scream?
A couple of times. Oh, do you want me to tell you the plot of the movie?
No.
All right, I won't spoil
All
it.
right. Do you want
But
to?
yeah,
do
Aqua
you-
cosplayers say.
A bunch. Yeah, the movie theater was laughing and having a good time, which means that I was having a good time too, because you know the mood and whatever. And yeah, my only gripe is that the thing advertised it as being 90 minutes, but for the first like 10 to 15 minutes where Kazuma and Megumin talking to each other through their VAs, and I'm like, all right, this is cool. So the actual movie itself is maybe 45 to 60 minutes, definitely under the
Wait, how many minutes was them talking to each other?
like the first like maybe 10 or 15.
Okay, but you said 90 minutes, and then you said the movie was 40 minutes.
You have to do the credits and whatnot. Or do they not the credits? The hey,
40-minute credits?
hey, we're talking about the movie and whatnot, and then the actual movie itself was under 90. So I don't know how that works. Magic. But yeah,
Okay. You want to help cover the
it
series?
felt more like a 2-episode OVA rather than a movie. Maybe it's because of how well it fit Konosuba.
What the fuck? Okay.
Yeah. So I was like,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Well, Konosuba
But
movie
yeah,
aside,
I mean, I'll definitely recommend watching it if you like Konosuba, and I bet most of you do. Weirdo.
okay.
People in the movie theater laughing about how what is it? How what's the word when Cosmo drop kicks women? Oh, gender equality. Yeah, sure, they like that.
Oh,
A
okay.
spoiler: there's a woman in this movie with big tits. He's all like, that's cool.
All right.
But
Toast, you wanna talk to
so
us?
yeah, definitely watch it if you like Konosuba.
Fuck.
Even though it's made by JC staff and not Studio Dean, but it looks like it.
Well, Toast, do you want to talk to us about something that's not Konosuba?
Yeah. Speaking of guns,
What the fuck?
let me tell you about Assassin's Pride.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So why is Kirito up there?
Oh, I read some reviews and some people are saying that why does everyone in this look like they come out of Sword Art Online? And I'm like, is it because they use swords? They use like yeah, all right, weirdos.
Probably because he's the fucking MC is wearing black and blue, and the heroine's wearing red and white and has blonde hair.
But he doesn't use the elucidator. He uses a katana. Okay, well let me tell you about this world. So kind of like on Attack on Titan, where humanity's almost extinct, and they all live in these glass cities, cased by dome.
okay.
Maybe more like a custom
Well,
world.
it's just like the Simpsons movie then.
Yeah. Okay, let's go with that.
God damn it.
I like the Simpsons movie. But yeah,
Hey,
like humanity's almost extinct. You gotta live in the domes, and I'm like, that's cool.
Okay.
And
And so they're all like, okay, the demons in this world are lycanthropes, but they're not all werewolves. They're it's just I guess a generic term for demon and or monster and whatnot.
Okay.
Like Van Helsing, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
You want to tell us
You
a
wanna
little
keep
bit
going?
about
All right,
the main character? Or
All right,
anything else?
so there's
what's happening, dude?
so there's also
Hey.
I'm in the middle of a duel, so I'm busy. There's also a
Oh
caste
my god,
system
Toast, please.
between the commoners and the nobles, and if you're a noble, you have to use mana.
Yes.
Do I have to explain Okay, so you know what
No,
mana
you don't
is,
have to
right?
explain what mana is.
Have you seen Hunter x Hunter? You know about Nen? It's kind of like this world's Nen and or Ki and or what's the one they use in spirit energy? So that kind of mystical whatnot. So if you're a noble, you have mana, right? And so you can do magic, cool stuff. So the main character is this 13-year-old girl named Melida Angel. Remember that last name, Angel. So, and in this world, when they're 6 years old, they usually manifest their mana and they take a test and are like, oh, that's cool, you got mana, you're a noble. But she's already 13 and she hasn't manifested any mana. So she's being, mistreated by her peers. She's called what is it? The untalented talent? Or the untalented prodigy or whatever? Because, she's good at the sword, but she has no mana, so she's weaker than everyone else.
Okay.
And then the cool dude, what's his name? What's his name? Oh yeah. His name is pay attention, Kufa Vampire. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's the member of this assassin guild and whatever, and they're supposed to be and they're investigating this the reason why Melita Angel doesn't have mana. They're assuming that her mom had an affair with a commoner, like a commoner dude,
Okay.
in the beginning, but the commoner dude, her commoner dude, her proposed father from the affair was killed like in the first opening scenes. They're like, damn, I guess that lead's gone, so they can't quiz her on Melita Angel whether she's a true noble or an illegitimate heir or whatever.
Okay.
And so he's all like, the dude, Kufa Vampire, he's all like, damn, I guess we have to kill Melita Angel. Because, you
Yeah,
can't
that makes sense.
you can't have that noble, and if she has no mana, then she must be an illegitimate child, so they gotta kill her. But then he's all like, you know what? I changed my mind. I don't want to do that. I'll tutor her instead. And so he tutors her. He does some magic. He pulls an All Might on her to manifest some mana in her, and she's all like, thanks, All Might. And he's all like, have no fear, for I am here. And then they go to school and have a tournament arc in like the first 3 episodes, and I'm like, what is this? Then they're at a tournament fighting, and she's all like, and all the people that made fun of her, they're all like, haha, loser, you don't have a quirk. And she's all like, I'll show you. And then she manifests her mana and beats this one chick that was always harassing her, and she's all like, oh damn, I'm sorry for making fun of you. I guess you are talented after all. Let's be friends. And she's all like, okay. But then on the other side, there's her little sister-like character. What's her name? Let me find it. Elise Angel, who's a super prodigy. She manifested her mana early on, and she's one of the top. What is it? The top rank classes, the elite class. Because in this series, they have like a class-based system. Like my job class. There you go. And her job class is Paladin, because all of what is it? What is her name? Melita Angel and the and her noble house Angel. They're all Paladins. So her cousin Elise. She's a Paladin, and then they fight. And then
So is this more of like a power fantasy thing going on, or is
Oh.
there like an actual like intrigue kind of shit?
I
Who's
don't
the
know.
actual main character?
the
Is it the female or the male character?
it's the female. The Kirito dude is more like, I'm your sensei. Okay, well, Melita Angel's more like Deku, and the sensei dude's more like All Might. Alright?
Okay.
So he mentors her, and you're like, let me teach you this cool swordsmanship. My class is samurai, but you gotta keep it a secret, because you're supposed to be a paladin, and if anyone finds out, they'll kill you. And she's all like, alright, sensei, thanks for
What?
giving me your mana. What?
They'll kill you. You can't possibly be trained by another job. That would.
Well, she's supposed to be a paladin class, but if they found out she was a samurai class,
Weren't they gonna fucking kill her anyway?
they were going to kill her if they didn't find
Wait,
out.
how are they gonna not find out she's a fucking samurai?
That's
instead of a
the
paladin?
point. That's the point. His job is to make sure no one finds out.
Shouldn't that be
What
apparent?
is he just
the
gonna murder the
second-
entire fucking school? Like,
The second she doesn't do anything paladin-like.
Pretty much.
And
They're like,
we're
wait a
like,
minute. So the point is, he works for like this Assassin's Guild. You know, the one that where
The thing is,
Like,
it's like they're gonna try to do like cover-ups and stuff like that, right? It's
Yeah,
sort of
but I
how
just
it is.
don't understand.
he's-
It's like when she fights, shouldn't she? Is
She-
she,
she
using,
doesn't-
like a broadsword or like a
she uses a
katana or
regular
something?
sword, but she doesn't use any samurai skills. You know what she doesn't use any fancy.
So they're gonna
But if she's
they're gonna
not
try to
using
make
samurai skills, then doesn't that just make her a paladin and not a samurai anyway?
So are they gonna try to make it so that like she barely passes like all of these sorts of like sort of
Yeah,
challenges,
because you know
right?
he's
That's sort of
he's
how
the
that works.
shadow Hokage of the group, so he's all like, I'm going to manipulate information and make sure no one finds out, or else both her and I will be killed because I betrayed my mission. Just like Bruno Bucciarati.
wouldn't he be killed anyway because she's being seen in public?
It's not. It's
Yeah, wait. So like,
If
Wasn't
his
he
mission
supposed to
if
kill
his
her?
mission was to kill her and
If
she's
her
not
mission,
dead,
his mission was to kill her if she did not manifest any mana, but she did.
oh,
So the mission changed. They were like, we're gonna keep an eye on you. How did she have mana so suddenly? He's all like, I got this. Don't worry about it.
man, this is really weird. She manifested all this mana, but she's not doing anything with it. She's still just fighting with a regular sword.
So yeah, and then like it's pretty cool. Let me see. Like the first problem I have with the series is the pacing. Because I only read the manga because I don't like reading words. I'm no Diary of a Bookworm kind of person.
Okay.
So like I was reading the manga. There's 30 chapters. I think like 30, 15 chapters of this so far. They condensed that into like 2 episodes worth of content. I'm like, whoa, hold on there, Nelly. Where's the training arc where he teaches her his class moves and how to fight as a samurai, even though you're not supposed to be a samurai? They skipped all of that. It's going lightning fast. I heard they're supposed to be cramming what 3 volumes worth of content into a 12 episode series.
What?
What?
That's fast. Don't do that. Because there's
Why would they do that?
I don't know.
I don't think that's how things should work. But
Well,
okay.
okay. Well, let me tell you. In 5 episodes, they had 2 tournament arcs already. The one at their school, and then episode 3, they went to another school and they're having like a co-school tournament. And by episode 5, they're done. The entire tournament took place in what the last 8 to 10 minutes of episode 5. It went lightning fast.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah. So, but pacing problems aside, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. The visuals are
Who was the studio again?
EMT squared.
Oh, EMT Squared. What the fuck? I think I remember
that's
that.
the same studio that did Love Renai Boku and Love Tyrant.
Ah, yes.
Because
okay.
well, like you know how my
Kumamiko.
we don't talk about that here. Well, we do, but I don't know. But what I'm saying, I'm trying to say is you know the problem I had with Love Tyrant where all the characters looked like they didn't have an outline.
Yeah,
Oh
sure.
yeah. No,
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about, Dark?
Yeah.
Like, they don't have the black outlines when they're
it's
using
like super thin, if any.
yeah. When they're using their mana, they have the same effect as in Love Tyrant, and I was all like, wait a minute, is this Love Tyrant? And I was correct. Because let's see, Melita Angel's her body, she's got the yellow aura when she's powering up, and then she's got yellow lines around her, and I'm like, where's your outline go? It's like that episode of Ed, Ed, and Eddie. Remember when Eddie stole Jimmy's outline? Kind of like that.
Oh. God damn.
So yeah, audio-wise, oh, I mean, like in general, it's fine. I don't have any jarring problems with the visuals, other than the weird lines they have when they charge their mana. Audio, I guess it's fine. I don't have any bad qualms about it either. Sounds good. Almost like Madoka Magica, kinda, but not really. It's no Calafina, I'm sorry.
Okay. I mean, I think comparing stuff to Calafina is a little bit.
For some reason, this has some pretty good voice actors in it too. Let's see who's on the list. Spire, you know who Yuki Ono is?
Yes, I do know who Yuki Ono is.
Do you know who Ayane Sakura is? She voices the twin-tailed.
Yes, I do know who Ayane Sakura is.
She voiced she voiced the twin-tailed. I think like gladiator class. Who was the one that made fun of Melita Angel all the time, and then later was all like, "I'll be your friend."
I don't know.
Oh, you tell me.
You know who Ishikawa Yui is?
Yes, I do.
She's Elise Angel, and then I don't know who Melita Angel is. Who's Tomori Kusunoki? I don't know. Who that is.
I don't know. But anyways, do you have any? Do you have any last words?
I like it. I like the series. It's pretty good. It moves lightning fast, but it's got good fight scenes. Spire.
Okay.
I'll say it's not as good as a. It's not as good as a Rakudai Keisei, but it's comes close. It's almost like the Rakudai Kishi of this season in front of me. But yeah, I like the character interaction between All Might and Deku. she's all like, "Oh, I'm going to try my best," and he's all like, "Don't worry, I got you." And
Okay.
then, what? Spire, the class system is weird, or the job class system in this is weird.
I mean, I wouldn't
What?
expect it to be.
Why does a maiden class use twin chakrams?
Okay, look. I wouldn't really expect this series to have sensible much of anything. To be to
It's
be
called
fair,
it's called Assassin's Pride. Why does the assassin use a samurai sword? Shouldn't they be a
as I
shinobi?
said, I wouldn't expect much in the series to be completely sensible. But
Do you want a spoiler? A quick spoiler?
sure.
Why do you think this guy is called Kufa Vampire?
Why?
Because he has black hair and purple eyes and wears black. I don't know.
Because he's half vampire.
Okay.
Why do you
I
call?
Can't believe it.
Why do you think? Why do you think she's called Melita Angel?
Because she's an angel or
No, it's
caffeine
because
or
they're
whatever.
paladin classes and they serve God just like angels.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
stupid idiot, dumbass.
Oh, sorry. Go man.
But yeah.
Anyways,
Why does what the heck is a Diabolos class?
what? What?
Like
I don't know.
one of the chicks has a Diabolos class, and I'm like, is that like a Berserker class? Like, no, she has lifesteal, and I'm like, what?
What the fuck?
I don't know.
Like a vampire or something.
Almost. But yeah,
Anyways,
my final thoughts on Keanu Reeves. The opening is the opening is really good for some reason. It has that whole Akiyuki Shimbo slash half slash Maria Holic opening feel to it slash
like sort of hectic
Monogatari.
kind of feel.
Now you've seen the Monogatari opening slash Kore wa Zombie Desu ka opening, right? Guys,
So as I said, hectic, right?
yes.
Is
A
sort of
lot
what
of
you're
the
trying to
Monogatari openings are extremely different.
Yeah. But
Spire, have you not seen Maria Holic's opening? It looks almost like Maria Holic's opening. It has no reason being that good, but somehow it's really good. It's probably my.
well, I don't know if it has no reason to be that.
It's
But,
probably it's probably gonna be my opening of the season, because
Okay.
I'm not gonna put B stars because that's too obvious.
What?
what does that
Yeah,
mean?
too
It's
easy.
literally
too
the best
good.
opening of the season.
Nope.
What are you
Yeah.
talking
Too
about?
good. It's too good.
But I
It's
like
too-
to
it's
vote for the little man.
Yeah, Toast.
Why don't you vote for the
Red
I
best?
like to
Rack, my
vote. I
Kyushu
like to vote
supporter
for
over
the
here.
worst show. Okay. So
Anyways, Toast, thank you for
Yeah,
covering his ass.
it's really good. I recommend watching it. Pacing will probably throw you off, but stick with it. I like it. If you like little girls with job classes fighting lycanthrope slash demons, it's cool. It's good.
Okay.
Watch it.
All right.
Moves too fast though. Slow down. You know what? You know what episode 6 was? Episode 6 was basically filler. Probably because they had to slow the series down. They're like, all right, we got this down. The last 6 episodes, we're gonna focus on other stuff.
Anyways, thank you, Toast, for helping to cover Assassin's Pride.
What kind of
Last-
job class is clown?
All
though?
right, Toast. All right. Thank you,
Why does
Toast.
a clown get the copy?
clown.
Clown gets to mimic the other job classes except for the specialized job classes. I'm like, that's unfair.
Again, I didn't expect too many sensible things from this author, but anyways,
Wait, what do you mean this author? What else did they write?
or not this author, but this sort of story rather. But
It's good though. Watch it.
Speaking
Hey.
of gun,
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, but yeah, that's enough about guns. Let's talk about gun. I mean, let's talk about swords. Let's talk about more guns.
because anyways, yes, Dark. What do you have for us?
all right, I have more notable. Certainly one of the more notable series this season, I'd say. No Guns Life.
You've
And,
got the biggest gun of this.
You know, it's pretty good.
tell us about this gun guy.
Yeah. So the main character is a man named Inui Juzo. And the story takes place in. I honestly don't remember if it's like even a real like country or city or anything. It's a fake. I know it's a fake city, like
They
in the
just
future.
they call it like the city.
Yeah.
They don't really.
Yeah,
They
they're not.
don't.
They
They
don't
don't
pay
ever
too
like
much
name
attention.
it. So
It's one of
and
those kind of things.
one of the bigger like pillars in the middle of the city is like this giant building for this Baruan corporation, and the basic setting is like a city in an almost cyberpunk like dystopia sort of thing. I don't want to say cyberpunk because it's not really, but it still has like that
Steampunk, dystopian. What?
no, it's not
It's definitely
steampunk.
not stupid.
It's
It's
just
pretty
like a
much just
really
sci-fi,
gritty tech.
like ghetto.
Like noir kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it's super ghetto technology. Like, you see people walking around and it's like, oh, what's their augment? And it's just basically an
Isn't that
Oculus
cyberpunk though?
Rift on their eyes
Isn't that
all the time.
or is it more hard
Well, it's
boiled?
not really glowy or anything like
It's
that.
not like
It's a lot. It's really gritty.
I mean, cyberpunk doesn't need to be
it's
glowy, right?
cyberpunk, but it's not like what people usually like think of when they think cyberpunk, right? Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of people with like cybernetic augmentations, but it's stuff that's like I've got a fucking like piston for an arm. Like it's like a literal hydraulic press just on my shoulder. And
Oh,
like,
so is it? I guess
obviously
it's more. I guess it's more. It's not steampunk, I guess, but it's like
not. It's like
it's like cyberpunk
like,
but with steampunk technology ish.
yeah, it's like ghetto punk. Like
Ghetto
it's
punk, yeah.
it's not
Like what is it? Detroit Be Human? Is that what it's called?
No, that Detroit
no,
Become Human's
it's
way too
very
clean.
very sci-fi, but it's like cyberpunk, but put a fucking layer of rust on everything, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, just by looking at Inui Juzo, it should probably be pretty clear that like he's like the most advanced augmentation.
'Cause he got
Yet
the gun
he's
face.
still old, but also his augmentation is he has a fucking gun for a head. Uh,
What kind of gun?
so yeah, he's a revolver.
Nice.
And so the basic way it works is actually, yeah, his backstory is just like he was in a war, and that
The
was why
war.
he was in the war.
The great gun war.
Yeah.
Yeah, where he was a gun slave, overextended, where an overextended is an extended
That's
that
over?
uses their. No, they just get extensions that are weapons, like specifically weapons. You can be an extended that's an entire machine, but as long as you aren't like a weapon, it doesn't matter. But once you get like any port of a weapon that's an overextension, as far as
Mhm.
Basically,
I've been able to
they're
tell.
military grade
Yeah,
cyborgs.
yeah. So they're also like technically illegal. If they do anything out of line, like they can basically get smacked down immediately
Mhm.
by any sort of police force or mega corporation. Because it don't look good to have a man with a gun for a head running around. It scares people.
Right.
So how does he cover the gun? With a
He doesn't. He just
doesn't.
walks around. No,
doesn't
and
have
no
a
one,
gun holster, a face holster?
A face
no,
holster.
no one,
That's pretty funny.
no one messes with him. He's a big man with a gun face. So, well, actually, people mess with him, but yeah. So the series itself, um, I've been liking it a lot, just because it's
Okay.
not what I expected it to be. Because
Mhm.
it's not quite like it's not edgy. I thought it was gonna be like really edgy and like just fucking action, but then all the character interactions would have been like really super dramatic, edgy stuff. It's
Mhm.
really not. It's pretty almost typical like action in that way. But it also has like some light detective stuff going on
Right.
with
Right.
Juzo. But what it definitely does have, other than like actual detective stuff, is a lot of detective like theming with the music and with
So what
Yeah.
you're saying, it's very hard boiled.
Yeah, kind of, which I quite like about that as well. The basic like setup of the story that we're going through is that Juzo finds he gets contacted since he's like a PI, just handles extension like jobs, and he's going after like a kidnapper, and
Okay.
so spoilers for episode 1 only, by the way. Uh, so he finds this kidnapper, and it's an extended, um, and he chases after him, loses him. Then the extended winds up in his apartment, and he's like, "Well, I've been contracted to catch you. Like, what the fuck are you doing?" And then he finds out that the extension, like the dude with extensions, is actually the person who's being kidnapped, whose like
Okay.
body is there.
Oh, okay.
Uh, and he's like, he's this super unique, like illegal extended like kid that they've been operating on, and his ability is something called harmony, where he can control other extendeds, like with his voice thing.
Okay. Okay.
And it just kind of goes from there, where Juzo decides to save him and essentially take him in to protect him uh,
Right.
from the mega corporation. So it's a lot of like reluctantly like taking him in. Right now, it seems to be like mini arcs of what is it? Like mini arcs of a somewhat of like a antagonist that comes back and goes away. Like initially, it was the someone from the mega corporation, and then that was for like a couple episodes. And now that that's not really resolved, but that kind of got put on the back burner for now this like escaped prisoner extended.
Hmm.
So I think the pacing is pretty good overall.
How many?
A
Wait,
lot
how many
happens.
episodes? Is this 12, right? Not
Yeah,
24?
this is 12
This is 12
episodes.
episode series. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't think it's gonna get very far. But it's gonna be cool. Would like. I hope that there's more than just the 12 episodes, but they get a second core, season 2 or whatnot. But it's pretty entertaining. I've seen. So the problem is that I also watch this at the gym, which means I watch it on a phone, which means I can't do the best voice for how the audio visuals are. I thought they've overall been okay, like pretty fine.
They're a whopping okay. I mean, it's done by Madhouse Studio. Um, typically, I mean, Madhouse is a studio that's like everyone's like, yes, they're the pinnacle of animation, right?
Yeah.
Like Madhouse realistically hasn't really put out anything that's been like wow in quite a while.
Yeah.
Like the last thing they put out, in my opinion, that was like impressive on a technical level for me, um, was Aka 13, right? And
Oh yeah, that was good.
like that was very good, right? But
Wait,
it also,
Madhouse. Let me see. Actually, yeah. Keep talking. Sorry.
like that was also quite a slow paced series, right? It was pretty much just like government work, the show.
We're
Um,
talking about new stuff, right? Not like sequels or anything like that.
yeah, I'm just talking about like recently, right? Like to be honest,
What about Boogie Pop?
but it was
Boogie Pop
very
was got pretty sketchy at the end, right?
yeah, it
When,
was
when it's like the Manticore was like running around.
yeah, it was it I mean it has its moments where it's very fluid, right? But for the most part it's very standard. You know, I don't know. I feel like Madhouse
It had that weird fucking Tonegawa series, but that wasn't like it didn't really involve animation. It was just people talking. If I remember.
yeah.
And it had a Cardcaptor Sakura. Was Cardcaptor Sakura okay? Animation wise?
Yeah, it's
It was
great.
solid.
Or
It was
Clear
solid,
Card.
yeah.
Clear
Yeah,
Card was
Clear Card
solid,
was
yeah.
great.
But
It's
there wasn't there. I mean, even then though, there wasn't anything that like
It wasn't
super
impressive. It wasn't
wowzy.
like
Yeah,
wow. You're doing
Yeah.
such a great job. Yeah.
it was
Like for me
yeah.
personally, Madhouse hasn't put out stuff in a while that made me be like, whoa, like who is in charge of this shot, right?
Right.
What about One Punch Man?
That was a while ago, and
I mean, just by
again, it dropped
comparison,
off quite hard.
just this week, watching a little bit of a side tangent, but the most recent episode of Fire Force has some like insane shit in it that I'm
Yeah, like
wow,
Fire Force
that
is
like
fucking
that's fucking
gorgeous,
crazy.
right? But yeah, for me, No Guns Life is it's solid, like it's consistent, but it's not impressive.
Right.
It's standard Madhouse in my opinion.
Which is definitely unfortunate, but also better than it being just bad.
Yeah, if it was actually bad, then we would need to have a talk. Like we would need to have a talk. But the good thing is, fortunately, it's not right. So, but yeah, I guess any last words?
I would recommend it for anyone looking for both something just all around, honestly. I guess like not if you're just looking for, wild ass audio visuals that are going to impress you every time,
Hmm.
or really impress you for the most part at all. But
Right.
if you're looking for something that has like a pretty fun world, pretty fun and like very fun characters,
Hmm.
that would be I would really recommend it. I mean, that's kind of the highlight for me too, is that Juzo is very much playing like the hardened, like sort of detective, kind of role, but
Okay.
then it's like, he can't get his favorite cigarettes and then he
How can
turns
he
into like a
smoke if he's a
fucking
gun?
baby. And
it's
then
got a mouth.
yeah, he's still got a mouth,
Is
dude.
that
That's how he
where
drinks his coffee.
is that where the bullet comes out? Tell us more about his gun
No.
face.
Oh yeah,
It's
so
gun on his head,
yeah, it's a
and
gun and it shoots a big bullet.
yeah. So I mean, my opinion of this series, because I've watched a decent amount of it too. Um, it's like I think this is gonna be a weird comparison at first, but I'll explain this a little more. The most direct comparison I can make, like if you're looking for, like if you're wanting a series to like compare, like oh, should I watch No One's Life? I would compare it to Hellsing.
Ooh, that's a good one.
No.
And the reason I say that is because there is a very, very solid balance in this series between, serious, like, drama and action into like slapstick, comedy, or really witty, snappy dialogue between the characters. Um, it doesn't take itself super seriously, but it also has very serious moments, right? Um,
Right.
obviously, the main characters are quite different. One's a super edgy vampire, and one's a grumbling old man with a gun for his head. Um,
Right.
What if he had silver bullets? Could he defeat the vampire?
probably not Alucard, but um, I think the tone of the series is very comparable. No Guns Life has a bit more, I think, lighthearted like character interactions than Hellsing.
Hmm.
Just due to like the nature of the setup of the series. Um, but yeah, if you like a series that's like Hellsing, where it's got the action and drama and seriousness, but it's also interspersed with bouts of goofiness and wacky character dialogue and some occasional visual gags, right? Because
Hmm.
sometimes it goes into this cartoony style and they joke around. Juzo has this like he gets this weird like bubbly cartoon head and he starts blushing and stuff. And, there's comedic moments there. But yeah, it's a good series. Would recommend it.
Okay. Definitely one of the bigger series that we did cover this
Yep.
time around, and I'm glad that we managed to cover it pretty succinctly. So thank you, Dark and Nier, for helping us cover No Guns Life.
So, in a battle between all of the animes today, who would win?
I think I think that's a little bit. I don't know what kind of fight that would be. Obviously, it would
Okay,
involve a lot of guns.
fine.
But
Let's narrow it down. Spire loses because they have fake guns,
sure.
and
Yeah, but like
Melita-
Juzo
Melita
wouldn't
ain't-
fight them.
Melita Angel has no mana, so like I'll count her out too, even though, because she's not as strong as Vampire, so it's down to Psychopath gun versus gun face. Now
I
who
mean,
would win?
hard to tell, just because like
I mean, again,
Juzo.
if the psychopath system considered Juzo a criminal, he would just die.
Yeah, you just feel like, well, this is over. Yes.
Isn't he a
bad.
war hero? That doesn't make him a criminal.
He's not a war
how-
hero.
That's not how that works. Yes.
He was in the war. A bit different
so it
from
makes him a
being
soldier.
war hero.
Snake's a war hero. They don't call him a war hero.
Yeah, but
So is Frank West. Didn't he cover wars?
It's
Frank
not-
West
he's-
covered.
I think it's a little bit different, Toast. But
yeah,
anyways,
So Psychopath wins. All right.
Juzo is also all about saving the kids, man.
So he's not a criminal.
Yeah, but he hates kids.
I hate kids, but I gotta save these kids.
oh my god! All right, so again, thank you, Dark and Year, for helping to cover No Guns Life. I know, and definitely one of the series that we wanted to cover before too soon. And with that, we are moving on to the news, finally. This time around, we actually don't have, surprisingly enough, we do not have any real company-related news. Obviously, there are, news of stuff like live action anime announcements, but we don't really do that as part for the course.
Tell
Because-
us about the English dub.
Are you talking about? Yeah, I mean, that's gonna be my call out test. But anyways, we'll move on. So we're gonna move on straight on to the people news, and then on to our shoutouts and callouts. So going through them real quickly. First of all, award-winning science fiction author Taku Mayumura,
Wow,
Taku,
award winning.
passed away on the morning of Sunday, November 3rd, due to aspiration pneumonia at the age of 85. So,
Was he the one that wrote the Megami Tensei stuff?
no. So, he wrote, a lot of children's science fiction classics like Maboroshi no Pen Friend, Psychic School Wars, Shoumetsu no Kori, and stuff like that. And those inspired later stuff like 1968 Toho anime called anime film Toki no Tabibito, Time Stranger, and or the Self-Construction, and what is it, Neo Tokyo, stuff like that, and as well
Neo-Yokyo.
as Neo Tokyo omnibus anime film. And then more recently, his Nerawareta Gakuen novel inspired Ryosuke Nakamura and Sunrise's 2012 anime film Psychic School Wars. So definitely a pretty big influence. So please wish condolences to his friends and family. Next, another hit on the Idol front. Avex Pictures announced on the Idol Group Iris's official website on Saturday that allegedly receiving continued threats on Iris's safety from a certain individual, Avex Pictures will now take a proactive stance in dealing with the threats by cooperating with authorities, who will launch an investigation that will focus on apprehending the individual. Iris canceled their appearance from certain events out of concern for their fans' safety after receiving threats in August. Blah, blah.
You
So
should take action on one. Why does it take multiple to the point of canceling a fucking thing?
yeah, I don't really understand.
Maybe we should contact the police.
Yeah, especially after that, it's not recent news, but the news that got so widespread about the idol that got stabbed in the face like 50 times or whatever, right?
Yep.
Just very, very disappointing. But yeah, Iris consists of voice actors and voice actresses and musical performers in the form of Yamakita Saki, Serizawa Yu, Akanea Himika, Wakai Yuki, Kubota Miyu, and Shibuya Azuki. So they're multiple talents, voice actresses doing singing, the usual stuff. So yeah, very unfortunate. Next, the official website for the Idol unit, Purely Monster, announced on Saturday that Kariya Miki is leaving the group. Staff members met with Kariya before reaching the decision. Kariya explained in the personal message in the announcement that her main reason for leaving the group is related to injuring muscles in her left thigh at the end of May. She thought that she had made a full recovery and initially continued her idol activities while undergoing rehabilitation. However, she experienced the recurrence in August. Kariya is now recuperating at home and has regular medical exams. Blah, blah, blah. So she's going to take, obviously, a little bit of hiatus until her leg heals to completion. And again, please wish her a speedy recovery. Next. The official blog of actor Takiguchi Yukihiro announced on Thursday that Takiguchi passed away due to heart failure early in the morning of Wednesday, November 13th, at the age of 34. Takiguchi voiced roles in the 2017 The World Yami Izukan anime and has also acted in stage plays or musical adaptations of Inuyasha A3 and The Prince of Tennis. He appeared in the live-action film adaptations of the 7 Days manga and the Takumi-kun novels. He played the role of Akira Hayase in the 2014 Kamen Rider Drive series. Please wish, again, his family and friends condolences. Very, very unfortunate to be passing away this young. And last but not least, the Tokyo Metropolitan Police processed 2 suspects on November 8th for prosecution for allegedly sending online messages threatening actress Ayumi Ito, who is most well known for her work in, or at least currently voicing Tifa Lockhart in the Final Fantasy remake. So, yeah. According to the police in Tokyo's Shinjuku ward, the female unemployed suspect in her 20s and the male suspect in his 30s asked Ito to pull out of a live-action show's preview screening and asked the game company to recast the character voiced by Ito, among other demands. What? The authorities report that the female suspect from Aichi Prefecture and the male suspect from Hokkaido, who did not know each other, admitted to separately making threats and forcible obstruction of business. According to the investigation, the female suspect wrote, quote-unquote, "I hate you so much that I want to kill you," blah, 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 so on, and other threats in the comment section of the website for Ito's agency on June 8th. So separate, but similarly timed comments. Very, very unfortunate.
So they a red string of fate, one would say.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know about that,
Guess they're
but
made for each other, you know.
yeah, but yeah, very unfortunate. Thankfully, the suspects were apprehended by the Tokyo Metropolitan Police, and again, very, very disappointing that these threats are continuing to happen. And as Nier said, hopefully Tokyo or Japanese sort of police culture and sort of investigation culture sort of evolves so that we apprehend these criminals earlier rather than later. Yeah.
Well, what they need is the psychopaths. Is that what the machine is called?
It's the Sybil system.
Yeah.
What's the machine called in Equilibrium?
I
Isn't it like a
fucking
pill?
remember, bro.
It's not like a machine. It's like they have like a pill that like makes them like all chill and stuff like that.
What are they called? Adjudicators? Enforcers? What's
I
Christian
don't
Bale's
know.
character?
I forget, dude.
What's his?
In Equilibrium, I think they were adjudicated.
Okay.
Something edgy.
Yeah. I mean that series was, I mean, Gun
Ed-
Kata was a thing.
Educators. Get it? Edge.
Well,
Ha 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 ha.
anyways, with that, we are done with the news, and we'll be moving on quickly to our shoutouts and callouts here. So again, for those of you who don't know, shout out, everybody here gets one shout out and one call out each, and shout out is something that you want to compliment, something that makes your heart glow warmly with joy, and it can be any one person, place, or thing, and the call out is the exact opposite. It's something that makes you mumble in your sleep in anger or fear at night, something that you cannot think of without barfing into the nearest trash bag. Anything, any person, place, or thing, and everybody again gets one shout out and one call out, and it will start with Dark.
You know, there's a 25 or there's a what is it, 33% chance of one of us starting, and it's never me.
No, I like. Didn't I
What?
do you like 1 or 2 shows ago?
I don't believe it.
I think so.
Are you doing? Are you going down a list or something?
Wait, how is it 33? What?
Because Spider can't choose himself. That
No,
would make
I chose it myself.
that,
Plenty of
you
times.
can't you can't
Yeah,
do
so
that. That's kind of rude.
25% fucking
How is that? How is that rude?
Well, it's
It's
it's rude of us if he has to do it himself. It's like when you toast to yourself and like no one pours a glass for you. It's kind of like that. It's etiquette. So when
Yeah.
Spire goes first, I have to say what's your shout out and call
Feeling
out
bad,
so he doesn't
man.
look bad.
Well, I don't think.
I
Alright.
don't think that's how that works.
I mean that's just common etiquette, but all right.
Okay, but anyways, Stark going.
Yeah, so my shout out is going to be to I don't know, Grand Blue. The addicting game. I'm addicted. So I'm gonna shout it out too. I don't know why I'm playing it as much as I am, but pretty fucking fun.
Okay.
Hmm, fun.
Very fun. Very fun. Like when I run Avatar and he doesn't drop anything for me, and when I run Shiva and he doesn't drop anything for me, and then I leech
Exhilarating.
someone else's Shiva and he drops like the best fucking weapon I could possibly get, but then I need 3 more.
Oh my
Fun.
god. Please
A lot of
stop.
fun. But yeah, cool game, you know? Pretty cool. Black Knight got a 5-star recently, and it's pretty strong, so that's fun.
Yeah.
Because she was only really usable in like 1 fight for them, so
Okay. Well,
yeah.
near. Oh, we're sorry, call
No,
out
I'd
rather.
like to do a
Yeah,
call out.
yeah.
Hey, I'm calling
Sorry.
out daylight savings time.
Ah,
Because
fuck.
it's fucking
Yeah.
destroyed me and everyone I know.
Daylight
Near
savings time.
Near
God
brought
damn.
that up to me the other
Stupid.
day, a couple days ago. We were playing something.
What were
Yeah.
you playing? Tell us.
It was fucking
Ring of
awful this
Elysium.
year.
What's Ring of Elysium?
It's so bad for me. Like even right now, like I'm falling asleep and I woke up at 10 o'clock today.
So
I've only been
stupid.
up for fucking 14 hours and I'm dying.
So now you know how it feels, huh, Dark?
What is that? What do you
How
mean?
you know how it feels to raid nonstop?
That's not what. That's
It's
not what's.
not.
What?
It doesn't, dude. It doesn't
I
matter
don't
what
think
I've
that's.
done in the past like days. Like I have fucking like there have been days where I've like maybe like 1,200 calories the entire day. There's days when I've done that and I've had like 2 energy drinks. There's days when I haven't had caffeine. Today I had like, caffeine and I probably ate like over 2,000 calories. And it's like, no, doesn't matter. Like as soon as 11 o'clock rolls around, like I'm checked
You're
out.
just dead in the water, yeah.
It's because the sun's been down for like almost 6 hours by then.
Yeah, it's just like I just feel like this has never happened any other
It's
year.
it's like your what is it? The circadian rhythm is really off, essentially.
Yeah, it's fucked this year. I don't
Yeah.
understand.
Very unfortunate.
So what you're saying? So what you're saying is
Oh, that the thing is, it's obviously that's like affected a lot of my like scheduling too, because I'm pretty sensitive to like when I sleep and when I can do work and stuff like that after I sleep or before I sleep. But I'm also that so before, like for instance, like on the east coast of the United States, when it was like 7 p.m. here, for instance, right? It would be 8 p.m. over there. But now it's when it's 7 p.m. here, it's 9 p.m. over there. What does this mean? This means that for stuff like mobile games, like when it's like when the day resets and stuff like that, it's all shifted forward an hour. So I keep missing like my fucking like daily and like whatever the timings are. I'm just like, what the fuck's going on? And
what are you talking about? Are you sure it's shifted forward an hour or it's back? What?
no, the time difference. Time difference. Before,
Isn't it shifted back? Cause like it's DFO's refresh is 4 a.m. for people now. It's 3 a.m.
mm,
What?
no, for me, it's no, because it's like
What?
No. Wouldn't it be 4?
No, it's 3 now. Because Azure Lane resets at 1 a.m. for me now instead of 2 a.m.
I don't know, because my stuff.
Are you okay,
Well,
Spire?
Azure Lane might be different because it's not the.
Wait, isn't it being earlier technically it being
At the same
shifted
time.
forward?
What? Is it? No. What?
Why would that be shifted back?
Because it used to be this time, and now it's shifted backwards.
Back I don't
It would
What?
make the gap worse, right?
No.
If it was shifted
it's
back.
about the same.
Because if you're in the Asian country, you're 13 hours ahead, or you're usually like way ahead, right? At least like 12-ish hours ahead, right? So if we're falling back, right, the gap would be worse, is what I'm saying, right? Are we?
No, I don't know.
Anyways,
We'll have to
I'm
agree
anyway.
to
broke, man.
disagree.
anyways, Nier, do you want to tell us about your Shadows and Callouts?
I'm pretty sure my brain just got fucking wiped, bro.
for that discussion?
Yeah. You know, it's tricky, man. It's tricky. There's been a lot of shit. There's been a lot of bad shit that's happened the past couple of weeks.
Are you okay, Nier? Did you have a force? Did you have a Canada fire? What is it?
Canada Fire? I don't think Canadian fires have a special name.
Yeah. No, just you know, fucking Pokemon stuff and some
I
other
mean,
stuff and I don't know. The
yeah.
Pokemon
Whoa,
stuff.
no. Okay, let's be clear. Nier hasn't had necessarily a terrible week. It's more that society has had a terrible week.
Yeah, there's
We-
just bad shit coming out.
Is it
Bad
because we
shit
live in a
happening.
society?
Like
We
fuck, bro. I feel like I should call this out now, or else I'm gonna forget about it. So what was it like 2-3 days ago? I don't know. Fate Grand Order, the
Okay.
English version went into maintenance, right?
Mhm.
Oh,
And the staff were like, haha, there's something up with the iOS update. We don't, so we're gonna extend the maintenance. And so the maintenance got extended to like 7 hours or some shit, right? And then the time comes when they were like, if there's been no updates, we'll let you know what's going on. So that comes along, and they're like, the iOS update still, it's something wrong with it, so we're extending it again. And so, maintenance goes to like 10 hours. And then they keep extending it and extending it and extending it. And you want to know how long maintenance was?
How long was it?
It was 24 hours long.
ah, nice.
Stuff.
Welcome to the dark side,
What did they
Nier.
give you? What did they give you? Did they give you
Um,
anything?
so here's the thing. As maintenance was going, 24-hour maintenance, by the way. So that means literally every single player that plays the game lost their login streak.
Oh, they didn't
No.
reset it or whatever.
No, not reset it. There was a campaign going on, the 8 million downloads campaign, and basically it was, if you logged in, X amount of times, if you logged in a streak, by the way, it had to be a streak. At the end of it, you would get 10
Oh no.
free summon
Oh
tickets,
no.
right?
Right.
The maintenance was on the last fucking day,
Oh no.
and
Oh no.
nobody's gotten their tickets.
What the fuck?
So that's 10 tickets gone. But like when maintenance was over, they were like they did the usual. They every time maintenance gets extended, they add an extra quartz for each hour, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they were like, here's 10 quartz for the maintenance, and then here's another 24 for like the extended. And so that's a free 10 roll, right? But people are like, oh, that's okay. That's cool. There was nothing you guys did wrong. It's all iOS's fault, right? No, there's
Just
no
give
way.
just give everyone the
That is
10
not
tickets
how that
then, and
works.
also
There's no way, dude.
one
there-
single iOS update can't
the
break.
iOS update. There's no way the iOS update broke maintenance for a rerun event, which is what the
Yeah, it's
maintenance
just
was
it's
for, by
just
the way.
yeah, like it's not.
And
How does an
like,
iOS update break it there, but the Japanese game isn't down?
yeah, and then fucking they give out these 34 quartz, right, which is 30 for a 10 roll.
Mhm.
And people are like, oh, that's good enough compensation. And it's like, okay, but we all literally just lost our login streaks, every
Right,
single
exactly.
fucking player in the game.
Right, exactly.
And because of that, we lost 10 summon tickets, which was a 10 roll anyway.
Right,
So
exactly.
this compensation is literally worthless.
What you should have
Well,
gotten. Right.
Well,
exactly.
no, I mean, it's like the compensation is fine for the maintenance, but the compensation
Yeah,
for fucking up the
we
event
didn't.
now should just be the 10 tickets.
Yeah, they
Right,
should just
exactly.
give the 10 tickets out, which we haven't gotten, which is
Yeah.
fucking insane.
You can't say like, oh, we gave a 10 roll, so it's fine. It's like, well, no, you would have given the 10 roll regardless because your fucking maintenance went to 24 hours.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter what it was for. It was just
it's
that this time
absolutely
it was with the
ridiculous.
10 roll. Yeah, that's
Um,
fucking stupid.
I can't believe people are like, just, I don't know. I feel like it always comes back for me. It always comes back to people just laying over and letting like
Mobile game.
corporations just fuck them in the ass. And they're like, yeah, this is fine. Like,
it's not very like, I don't know, like at this point it's a very like fucked up normalization effect, because it's like, or habituation rather would be a more correct term for the human psyche, but it's like either way. But the issue is, it's like they always bring up this idea of like, well, I mean, Japanese like mobile game places are always like that, right? It's like, at least we're not getting super fucked, you know what I mean? It's like, come on.
yeah, but like the entire player base just got super fucked.
Yeah,
And
I
then
know.
they're like, oh, but
It's
we
not
got
as outrageous as it could have been.
Well,
we got some cords, so it's okay. It's like, no, it's not okay. You
Yeah.
literally would have gotten that much in tickets
Mhm.
if none of this had happened. In fact,
Right.
you would have gotten more because you would have gotten the apology quartz for the maintenance plus the tickets. You
Right,
literally
right,
would have
well, yeah,
gotten
you
more
should be getting
rolls
more.
if they
'Cause
didn't fuck up. And
right,
yet
right.
people are like, oh, well, they fucked up and they fucked over the entire player base for this game. Literally every single player. But it's okay. Why? It's not.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
I mean,
I
that'd be like Grand Blue. Like here, that'd be like Grand Blue giving out like tickets or something before a gala, and then goes into maintenance
yeah,
for
it would
4
be like,
days, and then the gala's over, and
yeah,
it's just like,
like
okay,
here's this,
wait till next month.
We're like, if December rolls around, right? And it's like, here's the roulettes, right?
Right.
And then
Also,
we miss
maintenance for
we
3
miss
weeks.
like, yeah, like a week of roulettes or something, right? And then they
Yeah,
were
that'd
just
be
like,
ugly. That'd be
yeah, here's like a 10 roll.
Yeah.
Like, what?
ugly.
No. It's insane. I don't know. I don't understand how people can just be like apology men for company.
Well, were they
It's
like responding to that on like a Twitter or something? Because I feel like that's another thing too, is that people tend to get connected to to like Twitter accounts for these games too much, and then like almost
mean,
like writing to it as it is a
the
single
thing is,
person, like
FGO's
far too
Twitter
commonly.
is literally just news.
Oh, okay.
They
That's
only
weird.
post news. They don't post like hey guys, like what's going on? They just go, here's the news
I
post.
called out the wrong thing.
Here's the upcoming event. We're not going to post anything for the next 3 weeks. Like, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
I thought we were gonna have like a Grand Blue situation.
No, it's just like, I don't know, man. It baffles the mind. Like, it keeps happening too. Like, companies just keep fucking up or doing like really despicable shit. And people are just like, yeah, whatever. And then, like other companies will just be like, doing normal business, and then people will lose their minds. Like,
Right. Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
this company's so unethical and gross. It's like, what? It's just, I don't know. It blows my mind. I don't know what to shout out though, because like, I don't know, man. It's just
You want near? You know what, near? You can have my 200 apology gems from Azure Lane. They had a bug on iOS and they're on Android, and they're all like, here, have these 200 gems. You know what 200 gems are worth? 10 dock spaces.
wow. But I don't know, man. Shoutouts to like fucking shit. Yeah.
What about Grand Blue Versus?
Uh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoutouts to Grand Blue Versus.
Yeah.
That looks fun. That game looks fun. You know what? You know what? Shout out to Guilty Gear 2020. That game looks fun. Fuck the haters.
Yeah, fuck the haters.
Who's saying that the new Guilty Gear is bad?
A lot of people.
What? How?
I think there are some confusing things about it, but we'll have to see how it kind of dries out in the wash.
In a
Is
very,
my opinion.
very early state. At least that's the impression that Arxis is trying to get. But I don't know. I think the game looks fun. There's some systems in there that I'm a little iffy on, but there's a lot of stuff in there that's like, it looks cool.
Right.
I want to play it.
Right.
Right? Hopefully it has good net play.
Right.
Hopefully it has a good UI by the end of it.
Yeah, one would hope.
Anyways, thank you, Nier, for your shout out to call out. And Toast, what do you have for us?
Wait, is everyone done already?
No, I'm still here. But,
Spire, what's your shout out and call out? I don't want you to do it yourself. I'll let you.
What do you mean, do it myself? What?
Because you'll be like,
Not
okay,
permitted.
you'll be like, okay, I guess I'm last. You know what? I'm going to circumvent you.
All right.
That way
all
you
right,
can ask
thanks.
me.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Toast.
Spire will realize he's last, and then he'll start crying, and it'll be
Yeah,
really
just like
embarrassing.
going into the corner.
I don't want you to feel too bad.
All right, thanks, Toast. God, I have a lot of fucking call-outs, but I don't know which one I should choose.
Yeah,
So-
welcome to my boat, bro.
Spire, you can have 2 shoutouts or 2 callouts, but you can't have more than 2 of anything.
No, it's fine. It's fine. My. Okay, I'll do my call out first because it's much easier. So I think my call out is to this Tolovru English dub that's going on here.
Spire, what do you have against the English language?
Everything apparently, but the issue, like, I don't know. I just don't think I just don't think that they should be doing these things. Okay, I don't think the English stuff fits. I don't think the English stuff fits very well with stuff like Tolovru. I've always said that I've never supported just doing stuff like this. And I don't know. I just feel very uncomfortable about people dubbing Tolovru in the first place. I don't know. It just gives me goosebumps all
Don't
over.
you love anime, bro?
Yeah, Spire.
No.
What do you have
Yeah.
against the English language?
I'm not about this. But anyways, that's pretty much that for my call out. For my shout out, what do I even have for my shout out here?
Your roles.
My shout out is actually to the weather actually not being fucking terrible recently, because it's like I do like running outside, so might know of this, but it's like I do like running and doing exercise and stuff like that. But it was turning into like full winter weather the last like couple of like 3 or 4 days ago, and I was like, fuck, I don't want to like wear coats and like do all this garbage. And then it became good weather again.
You know what you need to do, Aspire? You need to wear that. What is that called? The body armor.
What?
What? You're talking about Under Armour, right? Under
Yeah.
Armour brand? Yes, yes.
32 degrees all day comfort. I'll recommend those.
32 degrees. Well, I don't know if I necessarily need like all day, just whatever. But I do do still wear like wick shirts, or wick shirts are essentially like
John Wick
winter
shirt.
wear. Winter wear that's supposed to sort of like put away, wick away essentially the sweat from your body, so that you're not, you don't get like a cold as the sweat freezes on your body. So I do have that, and it's very comfortable. But other than that, it's been pretty nice weather. But yeah, that's my shout out and call out. And with that, we are done with
Well-
the episode here. Oh,
Did Toast go?
oh yeah, Toast didn't go. Fucking, because I kept thinking that Toast came before me. But anyways,
What if I don't
Toast.
want to go?
Toast, what is your shout out and call out?
All right. My shout out is to that one guy that found out who I was in the grocery store. Even
What?
though I was wearing
What?
even though I was wearing like the wool hat and the balaclava, they still somehow figured out it was me
What?
for some reason.
What are you talking about, bro?
What the fuck are you talking?
I went grocery shopping one day, and I was in the self checkout aisle. I was buying combos and Starburst. Then all of a sudden, I hear someone saying my name, and I look up, and this is dude. It's calling my name, and I was like, "Who the heck are you?" And he was all like, "It's me. I was in your physics class in high school." And I'm like, "How did you recognize me while I'm wearing a full face mask and a full face mask and a wool hat?" And they're like, "I just knew." And I'm like, "What does that even mean?"
Oh, okay. That's really weird, but sure, yes.
Okay, so shout out to that guy for finding out who I was when I was buying candy and whatever.
Okay. What's your call out then?
Oh yeah, shout out to that black guy from my physics class who I don't remember the name of. Sorry.
Yeah, but what's your call out, Toast?
Oh, my call out is to all the anime that don't have a proper conclusion. You know how Clannad has what Tomoya's last year and all the way up into his when he gets a job and whatnot, and then he has a daughter. That's good. That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Okay, what the fuck?
So I feel good about watching this guy go through his entire life story.
Okay.
And it's like, why don't most high school anime / slice of life / harem / whatever Spider calls it go through that? Why do they only gotta stop through the high school arc? That's lame.
Because these
Because
authors
they're high
aren't.
school stories, and they're not
But-
really.
But that's why they aren't as good as Clannad. They should do
mean-
something about that.
Are you?
Are you comparing
I
these
just-
isekai high school stories to Clannad?
No, not isekai stories. General school life stories. Why can't all the characters have a happy ending? I don't care about their
I
high school
mean-
days and we're gonna have fun in our high school. I want the main character to have
You want
have
after story.
Yeah, I want an after story. I want.
Unfortunately, not everybody is very good at like writing. I don't know how else to put this.
I mean, Clannad's ending also wasn't really that happy.
Yeah, that is true. And also, it wasn't particularly like
What
it wasn't
Near? What are you
particularly
talking?
great.
Near? What are you talking about? Everyone got better in the end.
the lights in the city, near
Yeah,
the lights
Near.
in the city.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I guess that's your call out, but again,
Yeah.
I think the I mean
mean,
I
like
like after story stuff too, but unfortunately not a lot
how
of.
come freaking even Seo Koji can do a proper? Hey, we're gonna go through high school all the way into college, and I'm like, I freaking hate Seo Koji. His stuff is
Define
hit and miss.
proper.
But it's like, all
Defi-
right, we're gonna go through high school, and then we're gonna have this college stuff, and then we're gonna do the after college stuff. And I'm like, that's good. That's
I
good
just
character
I just
development
wanna
and
I just
progress.
wanna say that just because you have an after story doesn't mean it's a good after story.
Kaon didn't show me Moogie as a grandma. What the fuck?
Like, value lost stuff. But yeah, I just when you said something about Seo Koji doing something proper, I want to put a little bit of doubt on that. But
You're just
anyway,
jealous.
yes, go man. I wish I was as great of a writer as the Legend of Koji and could drag out stories as much as he did.
But yeah, even I hate Seo Koji, but at least he could do proper stuff like that. Maybe that's why he's so popular. I don't
Again,
know.
I don't know whether
That's a
it's,
whole. What's the word? A can of
Straight
worms.
out.
But anyways, thank you Toast for your shout out and call out.
Why are you
And
thanking me for that?
because you gave your input for the section, and that's not, it takes effort to think of these things. So thank you for giving us your input. And that we are done with this episode. Again, we will be having, I believe, one more episode of the fall, where we'll be reviewing fall 2019 review stuff. And then after that, we'll be having our winter 2019 preview, or 2019-2020, the usual stuff, preview show. And that'll be near when the fall 2019 season is ending. And then after that, again, our infamous end of the year awards show. The exact schedule for that might be a little bit variable. We will update you guys pretty soon as to when that's gonna happen. So keep a lookout. But yeah, that should be it. And if you do like what we do, follow us here on twitch.tv/4PlayerAnimecast. That's for the number 4, where we stream every other Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, talking about the latest and greatest in Japanese animation media, Japanese anime, manga, light novels, visual novels, web novels, so on and so forth. And we do our recording here. We have, of course, our podcast recording VODs available on Twitch as well as on YouTube, so you can check us out on there, YouTube 4PlayerAnimecast, as well as on our social media for updates on Facebook, 4PlayerAnimecast, and Twitter handle at 4PPAnimecast. So you can check us out there for more updates and information. So yeah, we're doing that. Again, that's I told you guys about the schedule for the next couple of podcasts, so watch out for that. Until next time.